It's Monday, December 1st. Today, it's cold and flu season, the increase in cases and how you can best protect yourself. On the chopping block, how many trees are slated to come down along Selkirk Avenue as part of a vegetation management blitz? And hitting the ice, the first of its kind program in Manitoba that's helping ease blind or partially sighted players into hockey. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy Monday to you, and thanks for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. We have a lot in the next 3 hours for you. Ainsley McPhail is going to tell us all about a sport. It's called fat bikes. I don't know if you've ever...
I do, yeah. Winter biking, right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, the tires are really heavy, and it's really great cardio. So we're going to find out about an event that's coming up on the weekend about that sport itself, and what people are doing to explore the sport for the first time. So we're going to have that throughout the morning. But the weather, finally we're seeing some snow on the ground.
Well, you know what? Talk about winter sports. I always have a hard time getting active during these cold months. Yeah. And I felt it this morning. It really does start to feel like December out there. What a difference a few days can make. Currently, as you can see, it's a chilly start, minus 16 degrees, but with that wind chill, it feels more like minus 26. A good amount of clouds out there. The wind's decently strong. This hour, they are out of the south-southwest at 23 kilometers per hour. The barometric pressure is falling. The humidity, it's sitting at 80%. So yes, it is a bit of a frigid start to the day, and we're going to be dealing with a good amount of sunshine. That's the good news. Few clouds lingering here in southern Manitoba and to the north for that matter. However, we are tracking a clipper that's likely to bring a good amount of snowfall, more snowfall than what we've already been seeing. So as the day progresses, we have a mix of sun and cloud here, a little bit cloudier in pockets of the north. And then overnight, oh, are we moving? Nothing's happening. Not sure what's going on. Are we moving very so slowly? Not sure what happened there. Apologies, folks. So for the north, you have a slight chance of some flurries today. Temperatures for us here in the south will be cold above below seasonal, excuse me, at minus 11 under a mix of sun and cloud. Overnight, temperatures dipping down to minus 16. That wind chill really intensifying, so it'll feel more in the low minus 20s to even minus mid 20s. And then tomorrow, some light snow, about 2 to 3 centimeters could be coming our way. Minus 8 degrees as we start to see a little bit of warmer temperatures. In fact, much of the south, because of that clipper, likely to get some snowfall. Overnight, temperatures getting really frigid, minus 21. But again, that wind chill making it feel upwards of minus 30 degrees. And then on Wednesday, lots of sunshine, a high of minus 16. But overnight, that snowfall comes back in, setting the stage for a snowy back half of the work week.
Thank you, Catherine. As winter weather settles in, it's a sure sign cold and flu season has arrived. You likely know someone who is sick at the moment, with a lot of illness spreading across many parts of the country. Hospital staff are bracing for an intense influenza season. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth shows us why and how best to protect yourself.
It's cold and flu season, which is why Chris Butler recently decided to be proactive and get her shots before the winter weather sets in.
But I'm still doing the wash my hands and that kind of thing. And I don't like to go to any event if it's really crowded.
New data from Health Canada shows flu cases jumped to more than 2,100 last week, up from close to 1,400 the previous week. The population most affected by the flu are people 65 and older. That's why Bill Van Gorder is urging his fellow seniors to wear a mask and be up to date with vaccinations.
Your flu shot, your COVID shot, your RSV shot. Remember, if you get one of those other respiratory diseases, the chances of you also picking up the flu are very strong.
Some children's hospitals across the country have implemented mask mandates and have added extra healthcare staff, expecting an influx of flu patients this season. Infectious disease specialist Dr. Lisa Barrett says there are concerns this year's flu vaccine is not a perfect match for the strains spreading in Canada.
It still does prevent hospitalizations and ICU admissions in many people. And also, there are other strains that are well matched still, that might not be as common, but are still floating around. And this vaccine will still protect you against those.
According to Dr. Barrett, there are also fears this version of the flu virus could bring a lot of sickness.
We do know from the rest of the world that we're starting to to see influenza go up, and it's been a crappy influenza season in other parts of the world, so likely it's going to be a tough one here too.
Dr. Lisa Barrett says sometimes people think they have a cold when actually it's the flu, which can lead to severe symptoms and sometimes other complications. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Halifax.
Some 260 trees are slated to come down in the Shaughnessy Heights neighborhood as Manitoba Hydro continues its vegetation management blitz. The Crown Utility says the trees along Selkirk Avenue are too close to power lines. Power outages have been happening there because the branches and lines are coming into contact. The work is expected to begin this week. A spokesperson says all the trees are either on city or rail yard property. It's all part of a wider safety initiative which kicked off this summer.
Well, last year we spent about $13.5 million on vegetation management, and this year we're on track to more than double that at about $27 million. And we've done a lot of vegetation management outside the city, mechanical brush clearing, keeping vegetation away from large transmission lines. We're doing more and more in the city, keeping the vegetation, especially trees, away from distribution power lines.
A spokesperson for the City of Winnipeg says it tried working with Hydro to preserve the trees through pruning or replanting to no avail. The city intends to continue discussions with Hydro over compensation for the trees, something it's not entitled to. If you'd like to know more about where Hydro crews will be operating, you can find an interactive map by visiting hydro.mb.ca. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says weekend talks on ending the war in Ukraine have been productive, but more work needs to be done.
We continue to be realistic about how difficult this is, but optimistic, particularly given the fact that as we've made progress, I think there's a shared vision here that this is not just about ending the war, which is very important. It is about securing Ukraine's future.
The head of Ukraine's delegation says Sunday's meeting was to address security, prosperity, and how to rebuild Ukraine while preventing Russian aggression. Marco Rubio met with Ukrainian negotiators last week in Geneva to revise an initial blueprint on ending the war. According to the Kremlin, the head of the U.S. envoy, Steve Witkoff, is scheduled to visit Moscow for talks with President Vladimir Putin tomorrow. Sunday's meeting comes as at least 6 people were killed and dozens of people were injured in Russian attacks across Ukraine. There is a growing call for Canada to reverse its planned cuts to foreign aid, a call echoed by a former Minister of Foreign Affairs who says the reduction in funding is moving this country away from some core principles.
Because we thought the best way of providing security for Canada is to make sure that the rest of the world has more stability, more equality, ability to fight climate, to support health. These are all issues that I think we're now basically abandoning.
Lloyd Axworthy's comments come as the head of the United Nations HIV and AIDS program urges Mark Carney to reverse planned cuts. Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand has said Canada's pledge to the Global Fund remains meaningful despite the reduction. CTV Winnipeg's annual Toy Mountain campaign is expanding the list of drop-off locations this year.
My mom had a lot of fun in it.
That's TJ Oakley hitting the airwaves with our friends from Bounce 99.9 and 103.1 Virgin Radio at Access Storage across from IKEA on Saturday. This year, we're trying to serve about 8,500 children, which is 2,500 more than last year. The Salvation Army said that's because they have really seen the need increase. And with these added locations, they're hoping to make donations easier and more convenient.
We know that folks are really pressed for time. It's a really busy time of the year for just about anyone. So if we can offer more options for them to donate on their schedule, it makes it easier for the family to get involved. And hopefully, if you're already doing some running around, we can just be another stop along the way.
We're looking for new unwrapped toys for children age of 0 to 12. This weekend, we are having another Toy Mountain pop-up at CF Polo Park. A full list of locations is available on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. Here's a look now at what's going on at Confusion Corner. It looks like it's a good start to the day so far. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. If you see any problems out there, please text them to us at 10400. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live outside at the Forks this morning. Good morning, Ainsley.
Standing out here with a fat pike and minus whatever, so you don't have to, Manitoba. I know I look great, but I'm not feeling 100%. I didn't even know what a fat bike was. I'm not even going to lie. But it turns out there is a huge community here in Manitoba. And coming up on Saturday, it's Global Fat Bike Day, something that sees almost 150 people coming on down to the Forks. It's a very social event. They do about a 4K, and then they break off. And they get on one of these. And you have to ask yourself, who in minus whatever is getting on a bike like this? But as it turns out, it actually makes you a lot warmer. There's different levels to it as well. So you've got the extreme folks. I'm going to be chatting with one this morning, someone who actually went to Alaska and did, I think it's 300 kilometers? Oh, that sounds tough. But then there's also people who use it for recreational use. This isn't just a proper shell. I may be getting on this today. That's all I'm going to say about that.
All right, we'll see what happens. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go onto the rooftop now. Oh, it's a chilly start to the day, isn't it?
It is. I busted out the shapeless big parka, Rochelle, because this is kind of our first taste of more not typical, colder than what we're used to this time of year. And Mother Nature didn't really ease us into this. It is minus 16 degrees out here with the wind chill. Feels more like minus 26. It's cloudy and decently breezy with gusts out of the south-southwest at 21 kilometers per hour. Pressure falling, humidity sits at 80%. So we are going to be dealing with a good amount of sunshine in the south, but it's not going to be packing the heat. Most of southern Manitoba will deal with temperatures in the low minus teens, a few degrees cooler than what we're used to. Decent winds. To the north, a slight chance of some flurries for you, about 30% shot mainly through the northeast. Temperatures are cooler in the upper minus teens. Overnight, there's some clouds intensify into southern Manitoba, while the north deals with intensifying snowfall. So while you have a slight chance of snow today, that risk really ramps up overnight, sticking around into tomorrow for a snowy Tuesday ahead. We here in southern Manitoba also likely to see some snowfall into tomorrow. Temperatures take a little bit of a dip, dipping below the minus teen line through much of southern Manitoba, but we're back to cooler temperatures by midweek. Alrighty, we're going to take a break here on Your Morning Winnipeg, but don't go anywhere. So much more still to come.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
When you give a child a winter coat, you give them the means to go to school on a cold day, a chance to play outside, because no child should be freezing cold. Donate to Coats for Kids, proudly sponsored by United Way Winnipeg and CTV.
Good morning. More than 1 in 10 people in Winnipeg are unable to get housing that fits their needs. It's just one of the key takeaways from the city's 2025 Housing Needs Assessment released Friday. The report gives a number of reasons for this, including Winnipeg's population growing at twice the average rate over the past 3 years. Additionally, the city is steadily losing many of its older homes, especially those that are more affordable, through a combination of age, deterioration, vacancy, and fire. The city is holding a virtual information session Tuesday evening on the findings. You can read the report and register for the session by visiting winnipeg.ca. BC's premier says he isn't ruling out the plan to build a new pipeline across his province after Ottawa and Alberta came to an agreement. It has seen plenty of opposition, with First Nations communities standing their ground. But David Eby says there may be a way to move the conversation forward. CTV's John Venevali-Rao reports.
Just days ago, BC's premier stepped up to a microphone and suggested the pipeline agreement he was left out of was never going to amount to anything.
No proponent, no route, no money, no First Nation support.
But on CTV's question period, David Eby now says he is open to discussing a pipeline project running through his province if there are no changes to the federal tanker ban.
If we can agree that the oil tanker ban is going to stay in place, then let's have those conversations. I think that would make life a lot better and easier in British Columbia in terms of our relationship with coastal First Nations, and would definitely take down the temperature.
Put in place 6 years ago, the ban prohibits larger tankers from docking at ports along BC's north coast if they're carrying lots of crude or certain types of oil. It's in place to protect some delicate ecosystems. Eby says an exemption would anger First Nations groups and put existing energy projects in jeopardy, and suggested another option, increasing capacity of the existing Trans Mountain pipeline.
Trying to find a path forward, trying to de-escalate tensions with our neighbors, trying to understand their concerns, what they would like to do, and I really hope they do the same for us.
The Memorandum of Understanding signed with Alberta has already cost the Prime Minister a cabinet minister and longtime environmentalist. And Alberta Premier Danielle Smith was booed by grassroots members when she said this at her party's annual general meeting.
I hope people today feel a lot more confident that Canada works than they did a couple of days ago.
As for BC's premier, he had vehemently opposed a new bitumen pipeline, and some noting a change in tone.
Eby is not slamming the door. He's not having a fit. He wants some of the projects of his own that involve fossil fuels, especially liquefied natural gas, to go through. And he mentions tens of billions of dollars of current projects and tens of billions more.
Meanwhile, Eby has said he'd also like to explore things like boosting the country's capacity to refine petroleum as opposed to buying gas from the U.S.
The death toll from that fire that struck an apartment complex in Hong Kong is continuing to rise as officials search through the rubble for victims or survivors. Officials say the confirmed death toll is now up to 146 people, with more than 40 people considered to be missing. Mourners are continuing to make their way to the site of the deadly fire, which engulfed 7 of the 8 apartment buildings in the complex. 11 people have been arrested, and officials say an investigation into the blaze is ongoing. The Prime Minister is set to travel to Washington this week with plans to see U.S. President Donald Trump, but experts say Canadians shouldn't expect too much from the interaction.
Prime Minister will be trying to tap down expectations. This happens to be an event that happens to bring them together. This is not an event that is intended to see some sort of resumption of trade talks, so that if even the slightest progress occurs, then it can be seen as a win. And I don't think the Prime Minister is trying to encourage Canadians to expect that, there's going to be some high five return to vigorous talks between Canada and the United States. That really does not seem to be in the cards. In fact, if anything, there seems to be real anxiety in Ottawa about the future of CUSMA, Canada, U.S., Mexico free trade, and what Donald Trump's intentions are toward that agreement.
Carney is heading to the U.S. Capitol for the 2026 FIFA World Cup draw, which is set to be held on Friday. The Canadian blind hockey program in Manitoba, the first of its kind in the province, is heading towards its finale. The first shift blind hockey program kicked off 6 weeks ago at the Hockey for All Centre in West Winnipeg. It's open to youth and adults ages 6 to 25 who are blind or partially sighted, helping them ease into hockey in a friendly, affordable setting. Sunday marked one of their final sessions of the year. Organizers say the program offers more than ice time. It builds community.
I think it's monumental because they're with people that get the similarity difficulties that they assume every day, whereas able-bodied sport, you don't really see that. It allows them to create friendships with people that are within our community and have those same adversities.
When players wrap up this intro program, they move on to the next level of blind hockey set to start in January.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
Some road closures to remind you about this morning. The northbound curb lane on Main Street will be closed between Euclid to Selkirk. Following rush hours, one lane at a time will be closed on Dufferin between McGregor and Powers. On Gertrude, all lanes will be closed between Osborne and Scott. If you have any other traffic tips to share with us, please text them at 10400.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
Casting our eye to the sky on this Monday, it is decently cloudy and quite chilly, minus 16 degrees with that wind chill. Feels more like minus 26. Ouch, that hurts. Winds are strong out of the south-southwest, pressure's falling, humidity at 80%. I don't know about you, but this was quite a rude awakening this morning. These temperatures feeling quite frigid compared to the last couple of weeks, almost a year since we've had values like this. Most of the province starting off in the low minus teens, minus 16 in Morden and Winkler, minus 17 in Portage. Even chillier in Brandon at minus 20. Dauphin starting off the day at minus 16. Temperatures to the north, actually in some areas, such as Island Lake, a little bit warmer, but very frigid in minus at Churchill at minus 27. And with that wind chill, it feels in excess of minus 40 degrees. So much cloud coverage to kick us off. We'll start to see it break up later on today, leaving behind mostly a mix of sun and cloud, but temperatures quite chilly as you put the kids on the bus at about minus 15 degrees. And it's not budging too much as they take lunch under that that partly cloudy skies and nothing changing on the way home. We are going to be getting sticking around the -11 mark for our high. Overnight, we'll start to see a few clouds start to move in, and there's going to be a clipper rolling in as well, bringing a possibility of some flurries, a good chance, I should say, on Tuesday at -8. Environment and Climate Change Canada says about 2 to 4 centimeters could be coming with that snowfall, so that'll likely last overnight with temperatures dipping down to -21. And then midweek, lots of sunshine to enjoy, but again, not bringing a lot of heat along with it, a high of -16 degrees. Your Skywatch picture of the day, Maureen snapped this one in Grand Marais, saying fall and winter in one picture. Certainly so. Thanks for sending that in, Maureen, and keep your weather pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca. We're taking a break, but stay with us. So much Your Morning Winnipeg still to come.
Deck the halls for your chance to win and be featured on Your Morning Winnipeg. Here at Your Morning, we love the sights of the season, and we want to see how you've decorated for the holidays. All those nutcrackers, lights, and trees could help you win a $500 gift card from Red River Co-op and have the chance to show off your holiday house live on Your Morning Winnipeg with a visit from Ainsley McPhail. To enter, head to our contest page at ctvwinnipeg.ca, fill out the form, and submit some pictures. Good luck. The federal government has launched its first registry detailing how Ottawa is using artificial intelligence. The open list cites over 400 examples, ranging from insect identification to policing assistance and chatbots. But as CTV's Colton Prail reports, large-scale adoption still has some challenges, and some experts say Canada hasn't properly weighed the risks.
For the first time, Canadians are getting an idea of how the federal government is using artificial intelligence. From identifying insects to analyzing immigration permits, combating human trafficking, and acting as a chatbot, a new government registry lists over 400 instances where the technology is being used in varying capacities.
It's imperative that we build trust because things will get better and more complicated.
But as governments turn to AI, there are also significant security concerns around storing and accessing Canadians' personal data.
If you're going to build another layer of added value using current AI technologies, then the question is, does that extra layer provide an extra risk of exposure?
This longtime Canadian AI scientist says creating a made-in-Canada tool is one way to minimize the risk. It's something Mark Carney's government has pledged to do.
What we're not seeing is the kind of preemptive work we need to investigate the impact of these systems, to make those impact assessments public before these systems are put to use.
This week, Alberta announced it will be the first Canadian jurisdiction to use AI in drafting government legislation for a bill defining Albertan whiskey.
AI gets it wrong, then we can use human writers that can correct it.
But as governments of all orders move to use AI more, polling shows most Canadians are at least cautious, if not skeptical, of its use.
Canadians are worried, not just about the impact on jobs and the labor market, but they're also worried about misinformation, disinformation.
As Canada looks to expand its AI use over the next 2 years, critics have expressed concerns over the possible loss of public service jobs and diminished trust in Ottawa's ability to deliver services. Colton Prail, CTV News, Ottawa.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
It is the first day of December out there, and it certainly feels like it. -16 degrees to kick us off on this Monday, -26 with the wind chill. Cloudy, gusty, barometric pressure is falling, humidity sits at 80%. So some good news, bad news. Good news is we've got a good amount of sunshine coming our way. Bad news, it's not doing much to elevate that mercury. As you can see, while we're starting with the clouds through much of the province, they'll break up nicely into the south, leaving behind a mix of sun and cloud. However, the north, you're not really picking it so much up on the future cast, but you have a slight chance, very slight, about a 30% shot of some flurry activity, while we here in the south are sitting pretty under those clear sunny skies. Overnight, we start to see those clouds build up, and yes, we are tracking what's coming over your screen there, that is a clipper, bringing a good amount of snowfall starting tomorrow. So for us here in Winnipeg and surrounding areas, about 2 to 4 centimeters likely coming, and it will likely last overnight, but then it starts to move out into northwestern Ontario into Tuesday night, and then from there we do get a good amount of sunshine back, but the temperature's not rebounding much along with it. Oh my goodness, in terms of our temperatures, we're looking at a high of -16 in Thompson, -21 in Gillam, -22 in Churchill, with that slight chance of flurry activity. And then to the northwest, again, a slight chance of flurries, -12 degrees across the board there in Opaskwayak, Cree Nation, and Flin Flon, -15 in Lynn Lake. Southwestern Manitoba, temperatures in the low -teens, a good amount of sunshine for you. Very similar conditions expected for us here in Winnipeg and surrounding regions. Northwestern Ontario, a slight chance of some flurry activity, very slight, likely you're going to stay dry. Whoa, we're having some graphics issues. Apologies, folks. We're going to wrap this up. But again, we're getting up to a high of -11 today. Good amount of winds under a mix of sun and cloud.
Thank you, Catherine. Manitoba is renewing its call for a national electricity grid to move more power among provinces and territories. Premier Wab Kinew says it's a good time to build domestic energy transmission in an era of economic threats from the United States. A national grid would need federal money, and Manitoba is now signing on to an Ontario-led memorandum calling for the project.
They've got the big checkbook. If we want to build that transmission line to northern Saskatchewan, to northern Alberta, to help decarbonize oil and gas in Canada, this is the time to do it. And it'll help employers like PTI, the workers that you see around us here today. It'll help you with the cost of living, and it'll help Trump-proof our economy.
Manitoba Hydro already exports power to some areas in Ontario, Saskatchewan, and the United States. The province is looking to set up wind power generation in conjunction with Indigenous-led organizations. The utility has warned it needs new power generation as early as 2029. A blind Ontario man is encouraging others with disabilities to fight back if they feel they're being discriminated against in the workplace. It follows a victory in a human rights case that he pursued after being told his needs couldn't be accommodated. CTV's Kamil Karamali has more.
This is a Braille display.
This equipment, a Braille display, and software that reads what's on your computer screen is essential for Eric Burgraff to do most jobs, since he's completely blind. And that usually leads to a lot of rejection.
I applied for 40 jobs maybe, and just not getting any traction whatsoever.
But about 8 years ago, after interviewing with one company, a call center based in Ontario, he says he was directly told they couldn't accommodate his needs.
They committed to providing the tools for work. Then they left a voicemail on my phone and just said, we can't do it. And that was it.
Did you feel discriminated against?
Of course. Of course.
Now, the Human Rights Tribunal of Ontario, in a recently published decision, has ordered the call center company to pay Burgraff $20,000 for injury to dignity and more than $8,000 for lost wages, finding that the decision not to hire the applicant as a result of his blindness is discriminatory. The Convergys call center used to be right here at this strip mall in Welland, Ontario, but shut down in 2018. Convergys then merging with another company to form Concentrix. When we reached out to Concentrix for comment for this story, they did not get back to us in time for our deadline. In the hearing, the employer had claimed the software that Burgraff needed was not compatible with its computer systems.
The unemployment rate facing Canadians with disabilities is not only a national crisis, it's a national shame.
In the bin that's now full of blocks?
For Burgraff and his family, it feels like a small victory.
The more people who speak up, the faster we can change the state of things.
And a chance to encourage other people with disabilities to push back against discrimination. Kamil Karamali, CTV News, St. Catharines, Ontario.
Police in California are investigating a deadly mass shooting Saturday night at a child's birthday party.
Today it is confirmed that we have 15 victims, 4 of those which are unfortunately deceased. Ages for those deceased victims is 8, 9, 14 and 21 years old.
Officials say gunfire rang out around 6 p.m. Saturday inside a banquet hall in the city of Stockton, south of Sacramento. The local sheriff's office said the search continues for possible suspects. Nissan is recalling several models of their vehicles because of a software problem. A Transport Canada notice says that on certain vehicles, a software issue could lead to the infotainment system display remaining blank when the vehicle is turned on. When the car is put into reverse, their rear view camera image will not appear on the display. In total, 3,700 vehicles are affected, including the Infiniti QX80, Nissan Armada, and Nissan Murano. The company will get in touch with owners of the recalled vehicles by mail. A Winnipeg curling club opened its doors Sunday to help more girls get involved with curling in a comfortable environment. Curl Manitoba hosted its Girls Rock event at the Assiniboine Memorial Curling Club. The event is aimed at girls aged 9 to 16 who have never curled before. Local female coaches, past champions, and instructors guided the new kids on the ice through the basics. Organizers said attracting new participants can be tough, so they keep the registration costs low and bring in all the equipment to try the sport.
I think there's a demand in terms of there's not as many girls in sport as there are men. I think getting the word out there to introduce girls that are not already in the sport of curling is the tricky part. A lot of it is going to schools and going to curling clubs with already female curlers and getting them to spread the word to their friends and family who don't already curl.
Sunday's session was a one-day event, but Curl Manitoba said plenty of learning programs run across Winnipeg, from casual drop-ins to 8 or 10-week sessions. Here's a look now what's going on in traffic along Portage at Polo Park. Things are moving well over here. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. Here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.30. The provincial average is lower at $1.25. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.23. And the lowest price in the city is $1.09. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
Coming up, we're going to learn all about fat bikes and the Global Fat Bike Day planned at the Forks this weekend. Stay with us.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
If your coffee's not strong this morning, step outside, because just the breathe in of this chilly air is likely to wake you up pretty good. It's minus 16 degrees, that wind chill making it feel more like minus 26. Decently overcast to kick us off. That'll be changing. I should be zipping this up more, setting a good example. Winds are out of the southwest at 21 clicks. Pressure falling, humidity sits at 80%. So a mix of sun and cloud for us here in south central Manitoba. Areas in Westman will see clearer skies. Temperatures across the board peaking below seasonal in the low minus teens. For us here in Winnipeg, that's minus 11. To the north, a 30% chance of some flurries for you through much of the region, most specifically in the northeast. Likely, though, you're staying dry and decently overcast. Overnight, though, you're likely to get some flurries kick in and stick around into tomorrow. Temperatures there will be quite chilly the next couple of days in the mid to upper teens. For us here in the south, we are not immune. A clipper rolling in will likely bring a good amount of snowfall for us tomorrow. About 2 to 4 centimeters worth is possible in Winnipeg before that system moves out of our region overnight Tuesday, setting the stage for a sunny Wednesday. Checking in with CTV's Ainsley McPhail, who's down at the Forks learning all about fat biking.
Good morning, Catherine. No, I feel like I can live out the forecast here. Dave Tournier joins us now to tell us all about this incredible sport. You were just saying that you feel hot.
Yeah, I'm cooking right now. I was just doing some laps around the statue there, and when you're moving in winter, it's a little warmer than standing still like we are right now.
That's one of the reasons you guys get into these fat bikes.
Yeah, fat biking has its origins with, simultaneously people down in Mexico wanting to find something that would ride over sand, and at the same time people in Alaska trying to figure out how can we make bikes that ride over snow. And so they would double up tires, and that ultimately led to the devices we're holding up today.
Well, yeah, middle of the country. We're we want to get on board. Exactly. So tell us what it is. Obviously, the tire is massive, but tell us about kind of the mechanics of it all.
Yeah, so what is a fat bike? I'm sure lots of folks have seen them out and about, but what is it? Fat bikes are typically bikes that have tires that are 3.7 inches and wider, all the way up to 5+ inches. There's actually a fat bike that has, I think, almost 6-inch wide tires, which feels like riding on balloons. It's really bizarre. But I mean, in short, the purpose is to give you a bike that'll float on snow. Because traditional bikes, road bikes or mountain bikes, right, their tires are too thin and they just kind of push through the snow and you're not going to get anywhere. So ultimately, a fat bike is something that allows you to float over the surface.
And this is something that's become quite popular in Manitoba.
Massively, yeah. It's really grown in the last decade plus. I mean, it was in the early 2000s that Surly, this bike brand here, came out with the first commercially available fat bike, and it's really exploded since then. I mean, look, Manitoba, we are a winter province. Let's not hide that, and it's just an incredible way to get out and enjoy this season.
There's an event coming up on Saturday.
There is, yeah. We'll chat about it more. But Global Fat Bike Day is this annual coming together of all of these enthusiastic fat bikers. So yeah, it comes up this Saturday, and there will be over 100 of us riding around here, enjoying the great outdoors.
Thank you so much, Dave. I feel like I'm going to have to take something, a note from you, because all you can hear is my chattering. See you after the break.
On the early markets, the Dow Jones is down overnight. The Nasdaq and S&P index are also trading lower. The loonie is trending lower at 71.56 cents U.S. The Hang Seng is up 174 points, and the Nikkei index plunged 950 points. Good morning, it is 6:46. A group of Manitoba researchers is building a satellite to be sent where no Canadian spacecraft has ever gone before, into the moon's orbit. CTV's Alex Karpa explores the new chapter in moon exploration, which is putting University of Manitoba researchers at the forefront.
So this is a CubeSat.
This satellite may look small, but it carries some large aspirations.
This is by far the most challenging thing that I've ever taken on.
Philip Ferguson and his Starlab team at the University of Manitoba are developing a lunar exploration spacecraft called CubeSat, which will not only orbit the moon, but also send a device to the lunar surface to collect scientific data.
We're looking for different kinds of minerals that we could potentially use as fuel, or minerals that we could use to help support life on the moon as we practice to get ready for Martian colonizations.
This is the first time a Canadian spacecraft will leave Earth and go into lunar orbit. Andrew Bowman says this is a great opportunity for students like himself to work with industry leaders on important projects.
I'm a PhD student, but there are master's students and probably will be undergraduate students involved as well. So really getting all levels trained and qualified to help with all the future missions.
This satellite is scheduled to launch sometime in late 2027, but it's not just researchers working on this device. The university is co-developing this satellite with Indigenous groups and youth.
My experience as a child about my fascination of stars, and I know many of our kids are like that.
Some hope that kind of engagement will inspire the next generation.
Science and engineering is part of their culture and heritage, so we want to bring that and give them some exciting applications for today.
Ferguson believes this will be the first of many lunar missions led by Manitobans.
How can we use the moon in the future as a stepping stone to get to Mars?
It may be a small satellite for space, but Ferguson said it's certainly a giant leap forward for Canadian exploration of our closest celestial neighbor. Alex Karpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has once again issued a warning about recalled pistachio products due to possible salmonella contamination. This is, of course, the latest in a series of similar recalls across the country. The pistachios and pistachio-containing products from the most recent recall warning were sold in several provinces as well as online. An extensive list of the products and where they were sold is available on the government's website. The notice advises anyone who has become sick from eating a recalled product to contact their healthcare provider. Students from across Manitoba packed into Kelvin High School Saturday, not for a gym class, but for Rocket League. It is a video game where players drive a wide range of flying vehicles to play soccer. The event is sponsored by the Winnipeg School Division. The Manitoba School Esports Association ran its fall split provincial finals with 24 middle year teams and 12 senior year teams competing for a chance to represent Manitoba on a national level. This season, a new division called Game Changers also debuted, featuring female identifying, and non-binary players. One of the coaches said most of the coaching is not actually about how to play the game.
A lot of the coaching goes towards, like, okay, how do you provide constructive criticism to your teammates? How do you, if you and a teammate are beefing, if you're having, if you're mad at each other about something, well, who messed up that shot, who messed that goal? How do you have that conversation in a manner that has a positive outcome, right?
Young said in-person practice keeps teams grounded and accountable and helps players build healthier communication habits. As of Saturday, 72 schools are registered in the association. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. The northbound curb lane on Main Street will be closed between Euclid to Selkirk. Following rush hours, one lane at a time will be closed on Dufferin between McGregor and Powers. On Gertrude, all lanes will be closed between Osborne and Scott. If you have any traffic tips or updates to share, please text them to us at 10400.
Taking a check-in on weather right now, minus 16 degrees. That wind chill making it feel more like minus 26. Decently cloudy as you kick off your commute. Winds are out of the south-southwest. Pressure is falling. Humidity sits at 80%. We've got a good amount of sunshine coming our way. That's the good news, but the heat not really coming along with it. Although we are starting off with that cloudier note, not even here in southern Manitoba, but all throughout the province. We here will get a good amount of sunshine. We're getting up to a high of minus 11 degrees. That's a few degrees cooler than what we're used to. And those winds will be pretty strong as well out of the southwest at 20 kilometers per hour. Into tonight, we'll see skies remain decently clear. Apologies, this icon should not be snow because that's not coming until tomorrow. Spoiler alert. We will deal with some increase in cloudiness, but a frigid overnight low at minus 16 degrees. And then into tomorrow, that's when we get a good chance of some snowfall, about 2 to 4 centimeters worth. Temperatures a bit warmer, though, at minus 8 degrees with some very strong winds out of the north at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. From there, we get a good amount of sunshine in midweek. On Wednesday, a high of minus 16 degrees, so pretty frigid. Interesting, though, the mercury not doing a ton overnight, dipping down to minus 17, but that wind chill will be quite frigid in the minus upper 20 degree mark, maybe even feeling more like minus 30. And into Thursday, likely some more flurries on the way, minus 8 degrees, so we get a little bit of a warm up. And then Friday, it looks like that system is continuing with us. Periods of snowfall predicted off and on throughout Friday with a high of minus 11. The weekend sunny and very cold, minus 19 on Saturday and Sunday under clear sunny skies.
Thank you, Catherine. Let's check in now on the crew at 103.1 Virgin Radio. Hi, guys. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you. This is toy-themed segment number 3, as this coming weekend, Friday and Saturday, we will be at CF Polo Park in support of Salvation Army's Toy Mountain. We are looking for as many new unwrapped toys as possible. I think... Sorry, are we on the second floor?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, so we're upstairs this year.
Upstairs.
Second floor, right beside center court.
Today we deal with the Toy Hall of Fame. What is a toy that should be absolutely inducted into the Toy Hall of Fame, but isn't? And you can find similar examples of adjacent toys that perhaps are. LTI, start us off.
So I don't know if you guys know this, but sand is in the Toy Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And I feel if sand is in there, snow should be in there. I think it's more versatile. Snowball fights.
No question.
Snowmen, snow angels.
That's real good.
Wow.
Forts.
That's real good.
Yep.
So the Toy Hall of Fame, that's interesting because it largely focuses on, it's supposed to be like the world, but it's very USA centric, and that's a factor in mine as well. So well done, Chrissy.
Okay,
lobby for a toy that isn't in the Toy Hall of Fame.
Mine's very Interlake centric, actually, so it's not like Lloyd's at all. So I don't know if you know this, but it was only last year, or 2024, that My Little Pony was inducted. Love My Little Pony. Okay.
Yep.
Why aren't farm animals inducted into the Toy Hall of Fame?
100%.
Like Chrissy Troy and her brother Trevor, that's all we played with.
100%.
Let's represent agriculture.
100%.
Like that.
Okay, so take something iconic. Nerf is in the Toy Hall of Fame. Okay?
Okay.
Something you can, like, play a sport, sort of, in the house.
Sure.
So if Nerf is in the Toy Hall of Fame, then I ask you, where are mini sticks?
Right.
One of the greatest activities in the history of the world, mini sticks. Get them in there. Friday and Saturday, CF Polo Park. We are upstairs, Toy Mountain, in support of Salvation Army. New unwrapped toys, as many as we can possibly get. Friday, Saturday, CF Polo Park, Toy Mountain. Hope to see you there.
And I'll see you guys there on Friday as well. So thanks, you guys, and we'll see you Friday. Well, we've been treated to some incredible celestial light shows this month thanks to solar storms in the upper atmosphere. And researchers in Saskatchewan have those storms under close observation. CTV's Allison Bamford has more on what they hope to find.
On nights with major solar storms, Matt Melnick's view looks like this. From 39,000 feet in the air, he sees the result of particles from the sun crashing into Earth's atmosphere.
They just look so much more defined and bright. You can pick out and see all the movements and all the pillars and everything. It's quite amazing.
Stunning spectacles of northern lights are growing more frequent as the sun reaches its peak of an 11-year solar cycle. An exciting time for aurora chasers and researchers.
We get a lot more data, and it's also generally a bit more interesting.
Daniel Billett is an assistant director with Superdarn Canada, a group that keeps tabs on the weather in space and studies the impacts of it here on Earth.
We're literally measuring the motion of the upper atmosphere.
Billett's work largely focuses on how solar wind affects low-orbit satellites.
Orbits can change a little bit, and that means they can come down. And if they're on unpredictable trajectories, that means there could be risk of collision.
Studies show solar storms can create powerful electric currents with potential to impact power grids, degrade pipelines, and interfere with navigation and communication signals.
We look at convection up in the ionosphere, and you can make the analogy that this is like high and low pressure systems, except for we're looking at electric potentials or electric voltages in high and low voltage systems.
Predicting the weather in space is much more difficult than forecasting it here on Earth, with less data and more variables at play. But researchers here say they hope more information can help change that. Allison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
We're going to take a break here. We'll be back after this with your 7 o'clock headlines. Stay with us. It's Monday, December 1st. Today, flu cases rising, infections climbing fast across the country as hospitals prepare for what could be a heavy flu season. Plus tree cuts. Manitoba Hydro set to remove 260 trees in Shaughnessy Heights to prevent growing power outage risks. And unknown soldier search. New clues bring researchers closer to solving a century-old military mystery. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Monday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. We have a lot in the next hour for you, including today, December 1st, is World AIDS Day. So we're going to hear from Sunshine House. They have a lot of programming going on and a special event to sort of break the stigma of HIV AIDS. So we're going to learn a little bit more about that. But it's December 1st, and it really feels chilly.
I know. I feel like we didn't get any sort of ease in.
I know.
It was
no
just
warning.
like, we're in December now. Yeah. It is quite frigid out there, Rochelle, as you mentioned, and decently cloudy. Minus 16 degrees, that wind chill making it feel more like minus 26. Cloudy, as mentioned, gusty. Temperatures are starting to rise a little bit. Barometric pressure is falling. Humidity sits at 80%. So we'll get some sunshine. There's the good news, but not a ton of heat along with it. You can see we're all starting off on a relatively cloudy note, but we'll start to see that cloud coverage break up for us here in the south while it really lingers in the north. Meantime, there's a slight chance, about a 30% shot of some flurries in northern Manitoba. It's not even really picking up on the futurecast. I'm going to guess you're going to stay dry and very cloudy. Temperatures in that neck of the woods in the upper minus teens. For us here, you see we cleared out nicely into the afternoon and into the early evening with highs in the low minus teens. But overnight, we start to see those clouds build, and we're tracking that clipper that comes in there, bringing a good amount of snowfall tomorrow. For us here in Winnipeg, about 2 to 4 centimeters could be coming along with it, and then tapering off overnight Tuesday. Clouds clearing out nicely on overnight Tuesday and into Wednesday. So we got a good amount of sunshine coming our way midweek. But again, that heat not really rising along with it. We're going to be below seasonal for much of the week. Minus 11 degrees is our high today, as mentioned. A little bit of a warm up on Tuesday along with that snowfall at minus 8. And then Wednesday, quite frigid at minus 16. And And as you can see, we recover a little bit, but the weekend really drops us off again in terms of those temperatures. Your weather art of the day, this lovely picture drawn by 10-year-old Amelia. I love the pencil drawing there. Thanks so much for sending that in. And if you've got any weather pictures of your, pictures of your kids' weather-themed artwork, there we go. Please email them to us at winnipegweather@ctv.ca because we're featuring one every day here on Your Morning Winnipeg.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
As winter weather settles in, it's a sure sign cold and flu season has arrived. You likely know someone who is sick at the moment, with a lot of illness spreading across many parts of the country. Hospital staff are bracing for an intense influenza season. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth shows us why and how best to protect yourself.
It's cold and flu season, which is why Chris Butler recently decided to be proactive and get her shots before the winter weather sets in.
But I am still doing the wash my hands and that kind of thing. And I don't like to go to any event if it's really crowded.
New data from Health Canada shows flu cases jumped to more than 2,100 last week, up from close to 1,400 the previous week. The population most affected by the flu are people 65 and older. That's why Bill Van Gorder is urging his fellow seniors to wear a mask and be up to date with vaccinations.
Your flu shot, your COVID shot, your RSV shot. Remember, if you get one of those other respiratory diseases, the chances of you also picking up the flu are very strong.
Some children's hospitals across the country have implemented mask mandates and have added extra healthcare staff, expecting an influx of flu patients this season. Infectious disease specialist Dr. Lisa Barrett says there are concerns this year's flu vaccine is not a perfect match for the strains spreading in Canada.
It still does prevent hospitalizations and ICU admissions in many people. And also, there are other strains that are well matched still, that might not be as common, but are still floating around. And this vaccine will still protect you against those.
According to Dr. Barrett, there are also fears this version of the flu virus could bring a lot of sickness.
We do know from the rest of the world that we're starting to see influenza go up, and it's been a crappy influenza season in other parts of the world, so likely it's going to be a tough one here too.
Dr. Lisa Barrett says sometimes people think they have a cold when actually it's the flu, which can lead to severe symptoms and sometimes other complications. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Halifax.
Some 260 trees are slated to come down in the Shaughnessy Heights neighborhood as Manitoba Hydro continues its vegetation management blitz. The Crown Utility says the trees along Selkirk Avenue are too close to power lines. Power outages have been happening there because the branches and lines are coming into contact. The work is expected to begin this week. A spokesperson says all the trees are either on city or rail yard property. It's all part of a wider safety initiative which kicked off this summer.
Well, last year we spent about $13.5 million on vegetation management, and this year we're on track to more than double that at about $27 million. And we've done a lot of vegetation management outside the city, mechanical brush clearing, keeping vegetation away from large transmission lines. We're doing more and more in the city, keeping the vegetation, especially trees, away from distribution power lines.
A spokesperson for the City of Winnipeg says it tried working with Hydro to preserve the trees through pruning or replanting to no avail. The city intends to continue discussions with Hydro over compensation for the trees, something it's not entitled to. If you'd like to know more about where Hydro crews will be operating, you can find an interactive map by visiting hydro.mb.ca. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says weekend talks on ending the war in Ukraine have been productive, but more work needs to be done.
We continue to be realistic about how difficult this is, but optimistic, particularly given the fact that as we've made progress, I think there's a shared vision here that this is not just about ending the war, which is very important. It is about securing Ukraine's future.
The head of Ukraine's delegation says Sunday's meeting was to address security, prosperity, and how to rebuild Ukraine while preventing Russian aggression. Marco Rubio met with Ukrainian negotiators last week in Geneva to revise an initial blueprint on ending the war. According to the Kremlin, the head of the U.S. envoy, Steve Witkoff, is scheduled to visit Moscow for talks with President Vladimir Putin tomorrow. Sunday's meeting comes as at least 6 people were killed and dozens of people were injured in Russian attacks across Ukraine. There's a growing call for Canada to reverse its planned cuts to foreign aid.
Because we thought the best way
providing security for Canada is to make sure that the rest of the world has more stability, more equality, ability to fight climate, to support health.
Former Minister of Foreign Affairs Lloyd Axworthy is one of the people calling on the government to reverse planned cuts to the Global Fund, which is a major program for fighting AIDS, tuberculosis and malaria. Current Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand says Canada's pledge to the Global Fund remains meaningful, despite a 17% funding cut. The federal budget is calling for $2.7 billion worth of cuts to foreign aid over 4 years. London has never looked more delicious. Architects across the city have been busy at work baking. They have teamed up to create a gingerbread version of London. It's an annual tradition organized by the city's Museum of Architecture. This year's highlight is Gingerbread Big Ben. It was baked by the firm in charge of the actual Big Ben restoration. Very cool. Here's what's happening now on Osborne Street. Looks like things are still quite light to start off this morning. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive.
Canada's biggest banks are expected to post a boost in earnings this week, even with the U.S. trade war and economic uncertainty weighing on borrowing among consumers. Canada's 6 largest lenders will release their fiscal year-end earnings this week, and analysts expect that higher fee-based income to prop up profits for them, and that is after a year of strong financial markets and some share price volatility. Also, Airbus announcing that the vast majority of its 6,000 A320 family aircraft impacted by a software glitch received the necessary modification over the weekend. They made the announcement on Friday that there were some concerns with it, and they've been working all through the weekend to update them. And there are about 100 that are still affected by the glitch, but they will be updated. They are grounded for now. Those are your morning business headlines. I'm Roger Peterson from BNN Bloomberg.
Let's go now to the Forks, where our Ainsley McPhail is live this morning. We're talking about fat bikes. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. Right before we went to air, Dave said to me, do you know what this bike is called? I said, no. I looked down. He said, the ice cream truck, because like we need more cold things right now standing out here. It's okay. The people who like fat bikes, though, they don't mind whatsoever because you're staying warm while you're on these bikes. What makes them unique is their tires, of course. I'm just fully putting a palm on that one. And coming up at 7:42, I'm going to have the opportunity to get on one of these and feel for myself its balloon-like nature over the snow. I think there's enough snow to give it a try, but I might just put it on the pavement. We're also going to be learning about Global Fat Bike Day. Here in Manitoba, people are loving it, and about 150 people come down to the Forks to congregate, to chat about it, to do a quick ride. And for those who don't know what it is, now's a good opportunity to learn as well. So stay with us throughout the morning as we chat with others who are either immediate or, should I say professional? I think I'm going to say professional.
Sounds good. All right. Thank you, Ainsley. Yeah, Ainsley's dressed in layers. You really need them today.
You certainly do. I busted out the bigger park. I didn't think I'd be reaching for it on the 1st of December, Rochelle, especially considering what a mild fall we had. But yes, we're certainly in the thick of winter now. It is minus 16 degrees out here. You can see my breath. Minus 26 with the wind chill. A couple clouds lingering. The winds rather are out of the south at 19 kilometers per hour. Pressure falling, humidity at 82%. So we are going to be dealing with a good amount of sunshine in southern Manitoba. To the north, decently overcast, but a 30% shot of some flurry activity. Temperatures in that region in the upper minus teens. However, while that slight chance of snowfall is slight today, as mentioned, it intensifies overnight. Good chance of those flakes flying into tomorrow as well. For us here in the south, we stay dry today under a mix of sun and cloud. Temperatures in the low minus teens, which is a few degrees cooler than what we're used to this time of year. For Winnipeg, we're looking at minus 11 with some decent winds. Overnight, skies start to cloud over. Temperatures dip to minus 16, but with that wind chill could feel more like minus 23, 24, if you will. And then into tomorrow, that's when we start to feel the effects of a clipper pushing in from the west, bringing a good chance of some snowfall to the tune of 2 to 4 centimeters worth. That's likely to taper off overnight on Tuesday, setting the stage for a sunny Wednesday, but not terribly warm. We're looking at a high of minus 16 degrees.
Weather brought to you by the Winnipeg Humane Society. From all the dogs, cats, and critters, thank you for your kindness.
It's time now for our question of the day. Today is National Pie Day. We want to know, what's your favorite kind of pie? You can text your answer along with your name to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions are amazing. We want more, whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals. Send them our way, please. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. Kick off the week with St. Denis Medical at 7. At 8, it's The Voice. The Weakest Link is on at 9, and catch Tracker at 10. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
The CTV Primetime lineup is brought to you by Strictly Amish, exclusively in Arborg, Manitoba.
When you give a child a winter coat, you're giving a child the means to go to school on a cold day, a chance to play outside. When you give a child a winter coat, you're giving them the freedom to create warm winter memories, because no child should be freezing cold. Kids should be able to go outside and have fun. Donate to Coats for Kids. Drop off new or gently used winter wear at these participating businesses. Proudly sponsored by United Way Winnipeg and CTV.
Good morning. More than 1 in 10 people in Winnipeg are unable to get housing that fits their needs. It's just one of the key takeaways from the city's 2025 Housing Needs Assessment released Friday. The report gives a number of reasons for this, including Winnipeg's population growing at twice the average rate over the past 3 years. Additionally, the city is steadily losing many of its older homes, especially those that are more affordable, through a combination of age, deterioration, vacancy, and fire. The city is holding a virtual information session Tuesday evening on the findings. You can read the report and register for the session by visiting winnipeg.ca. BC's Premier appears to be budging on a plan to build a new pipeline across the province. After saying it would never happen just a few days ago, David Eby now says he is open to the idea under certain conditions.
If we can agree that the oil tanker ban is going to stay in place, then let's have those conversations. I think that would make life a lot better and easier in British Columbia in terms of our relationship with coastal First Nations, and would definitely take down the temperature.
Prime Minister Mark Carney and Alberta Premier Danielle Smith signed an energy cooperation agreement last week outlining the conditions needed for a new oil pipeline to the Pacific to go ahead. In the Memorandum of Understanding, Alberta agreed to negotiate an industrial carbon pricing agreement by April 2026. In turn, the federal Liberals have agreed to suspend the clean electricity regulations in the province, not implement the oil and gas emissions cap, and if required, make an exception to the federal tanker ban. Premier Eby says his main concern is over the oil tanker ban. He says if it stays in place, then he's willing to have more conversations. There's a broccoli recall to let you know about. This brand of broccoli florets, which has been sold in 6 provinces, is being recalled due to possible salmonella contamination. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency says the Your Fresh Market product was distributed in New Brunswick, Newfoundland and Labrador, Nova Scotia, Ontario, PEI, and Quebec. The agency is urging consumers not to consume, use, sell, or serve the broccoli, as it can make you sick. No illnesses have been linked to the products, but say the investigation is ongoing, which may lead to additional recalls. Here's a look at what's happening now in traffic along Notre Dame Avenue. Things are moving well here. We have no issues to tell you about at this point in the drive.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
Now to some entertainment news. Thanksgiving weekend just wrapped up south of the border, and a lot of families heading to the movies together sent a new animated sequel to number 1.
Took an oath to make the world a better place, and an innocent snake needs our help.
Hollywood analysts tend to look at the 5-day holiday weekend around American Thanksgiving, and during that time, Zootopia 2 debuted with an estimated $156 million US across North America. Wicked for Good lost the top spot, but still added $93 million to its box office total. Now You See Me, Now You Don't conjured up $10 million for third. Another artist has joined Spotify's Billions Club. Kelly Clarkson's hit Since You've Been Gone has now topped 1 billion streams on Spotify. It's her first song to reach the milestone. The 2004 release reached number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart and earned a Grammy and 2 MTV Video Music Awards. Other artists in the club include The Weeknd, Drake, and Lady Gaga. Buddy the Elf has arrived in Winnipeg amid a sea of song.
There are key moments from the movie that are kind of verbatim in there, but of course, like any film that's adapted for the musical stage, it is expanded and songs are put in.
Elf the Musical is on now until December 28th at the Royal Manitoba Theatre Centre. The production follows Buddy, played by Ryan Brown, who realizes he's not an elf and is actually a human. He then sets off to New York in search of his real father. The production also includes a 9-person orchestra that is doing all the music live. Tickets are available on Royal MTC's website.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
I think Buddy the Elf would feel pretty at home here because it is quite North Pole-like. Okay, not to get dramatic, but it is chilly. Minus 16 degrees to kick us off, minus 26 with the wind chill. Few clouds out there. Winds are out of the south at 19 kilometers per hour. Pressure is falling. Humidity sits at 82%. The good news, lots of sunshine on the way. The bad news, the temperature lagging. As you can see, we're all starting off on a decently frigid note. I'm not talking about my hair. Temperatures in the low teens or upper teens if you're Brandon. Minus 18 degrees, minus 16 in Dauphin, minus 12 over in Kenora, northwestern Ontario. Northern Manitoba, I want to draw your attention to minus 26 in Churchill, but with that wind chill, it feels more like minus 40 degrees, so really bundle up if you must head outside. There's that cloud coverage on our radar that we're seeing this morning, but it will start to break up here in southern Manitoba while the north will stay decently cloudy. You do want to bundle up the kids as they head out to school. Minus 15 degrees as they arrive in class under a mix of sun and cloud. We get a smidge warmer into the lunch hour at minus 11 and nothing changing as they head home. Minus 11 with that mix of sun and cloud. That's our high today, a few degrees colder than what's typical for this time of year. Overnight temperatures dipping down to minus 16 as we start to see those clouds move in. The wind chill, though, will make it feel more like minus 20. And then into tomorrow, we start to see some snowfall intensify. About 2 to 4 centimeters worth is expected. Minus 8 is our high, so at least it's getting a little bit warmer. It is short-lived, though. On Wednesday, lots of sunshine, a frigid high of minus 16 degrees, and then Thursday, a little bit warmer at minus 8 with some more snowfall headed our way. Your Skywatch picture of the day snapped by Maureen in Grand Marais. She says it's a mix of autumn and winter in one photo with those orange leaves and that white cold snow. Thanks for sending that in, Maureen, and keep those pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Thank you, Catherine. Researchers are on a quest to identify a Canadian soldier who served more than 100 years ago. But as CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver shows us, finding this unknown soldier's true identity comes with many challenges.
Nearly 110 years ago, a Canadian soldier was one of more than 2,200 other Canadians who died on the Western Front, fighting to capture Hill 70 in the German stronghold of Lens, France.
These are his collar badges, so his C-13 collar badges.
Now, historians are close to finally identifying the unknown soldier, whose remains were uncovered during construction in France almost 10 years ago.
Casualty identification is a commitment, both to the Canadian Armed Forces, to the families of the missing, and to the dead themselves.
The soldier was found with coins, nail clippers, a comb, and a shoe, but it's these collar badges that narrowed down the search. The man served with the 13th Battalion Royal Highlanders of Canada, and an analysis of his remains show he was in his early 20s when he died, and between 5'5" and 5'8.5". Clues that helped Canada's casualty identification team come up with a short list that includes Private Patrick Kirk, who enlisted in 1914.
Private Kirk was originally from St. John's in Newfoundland. We know this from his attestation paper. And we know that he's working as a miner in Stellarton, Nova Scotia when the war broke out. With Private Kirk, however, there are a lot of unknowns.
One of those unknowns, his name, spelled Kirk, Quirk, and even Quick. That's why the team at National Defence is asking anyone who thinks the name sounds familiar to contact them. Without a relative's DNA sample, the wartime mystery can't be solved.
Private Kirk is on our short list of candidates. He's in the right place at the right time, or rather the wrong place at the wrong time, given this context. But what this means is With this identification process, we really need a viable DNA donor.
The goal is to give this unknown soldier his name back so he can receive a full military funeral in front of his family and finally be buried with a tombstone bearing his name and regiment. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
Emergency services students in Timmins, Ontario climbed a whole lot of stairs to give children a brighter holiday season.
But what we've noticed in the past is a lot of the toys that people donate are for little ones.
So it's nice that we have an opportunity to raise money for, slightly older kids that don't have the same opportunity.
The difference with this toy drive is that the toys are for children over 12 years old. Dozens of students and faculty representing Northern College's Emergency Services program took part. The event is in support of the annual Timmins and District Victim Services Annual Toy Drive. Deck the halls for your chance to win and be featured on Your Morning Winnipeg. Here at Your Morning, we love the sights of the season and we want to see how you've decorated for the holidays. All those nutcrackers, lights and trees could help you win a $500 gift card from Red River Co-op and have the chance to show off your holiday house live on Your Morning Winnipeg with a visit from Ainsley Wakefale. To enter, head to our contest page at ctvwinnipeg.ca, fill out the form and submit some pictures. Good luck. Coming up, we're talking about fat bikes and what's happening at the Forks this weekend. Stay with us. Let's go back now to Ainsley Wakefale, who's live at the Forks. It's cold, but not cold enough to get on a fat bike. Good morning.
Is this the part where I pretend like I'm warm and content with the situation? Good morning, Manitoba. This is great. I know, listen, you got heaps of weather. Wear your mitts. This is why. Courtney Dell's joining us. Fat biking. Why did you want to do it?
I love the riding in the summer, and I just didn't want it to end.
I like how you said the summer. Yeah. Does it keep you warm in the winter at least?
Actually, it does, but you have to get the right gear.
Okay. Well, what are you laid up with? How many layers would you say today?
I think I probably have about 4 today because I'm not used to the weather yet.
That's totally fair. For the folks who don't know, though, who haven't been on one, what is the ride like?
It's like nothing you've ever experienced. The crackle of the snow, the quiet, and nobody that really usually goes out, but it's those few people, and then you're always saying hi to everyone that's biking too, so the community is amazing.
And I understand that you've hit a year. That must have gone by so fast. Have you hit an extensive amount of trails here in Winnipeg or throughout Manitoba?
Actually, yes. Last winter, I did almost 800 kilometers on the fat bike alone, and then almost 1,000 on my my mountain bike. So, yeah, in 1 year, I did quite a bit.
You mentioned being out there on your own. Does that provide some mental clarity for you and improve the mental health?
Yes, actually the mental health for sure. I did some solo rides. A lot of it was with friends, which was amazing, but I got to the solo and it was just such a different experience, so amazing.
For somebody who is thinking to themselves, oh, this is cool, I haven't seen something like this before, why would you recommend it most?
It just makes you actually love Winnipeg's winters and everything, and just getting out there and the activity, the mental health, well-being of it all. And yeah, I can't describe it. It's hard to say in words.
I'm going to be on it for the first time in 10 minutes. What's your biggest recommendation?
Trust Dave.
A man? No, just kidding. I just mess with you. My hands are going to fall off. I'm nervous. All right, we'll see you then.
You'll be great. Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Oh, yeah, and it's cold out there. I'm glad to be in studio today.
I'm feeling a little... Well, I go up to the rooftop, so I do my time, but when I see her out there cold, I'm like, oh, gosh, I'm feeling a little guilty. Ainsley is well-dressed for the conditions. As you saw, she's got her big, bulky jacket. She's got the mitts, the toque, because, yes, it's starting to feel a lot more like winter out there. It's chilly, minus 16 degrees, that wind chill, though, making it feel more like minus 26. Decently overcast to kick off the Monday. Winds out of the south. The barometric pressure is falling. The humidity sitting at 82%. Okay. Okay, so we start in the north and we work our way down. In northern Manitoba, you're starting off with clouds while we are too, and that's likely going to be staying that way for the day, while temperatures are below seasonal in the high minus teens. There we go. How can you tell it's a Monday morning and the coffee hasn't quite kicked in? For us here, we have a good amount of sunshine in southern Manitoba. Highs a little bit warmer, still below seasonal, minus 11 degrees. Strong-ish winds out of the southwest at 20 kilometers per hour with that mix of sun and cloud. Overnight, getting quite frigid at minus 16 degrees. That wind chill, though, will make it feel more like maybe minus 25 at certain points. Winds ease off out of the south at 15 kilometers per hour as those clouds start to increase. That sets the stage for a clipper heading in from the west, bringing a good chance of some snowfall on Tuesday. A high of minus 8 to go along with it, so it'll be a little bit warmer, but that snowfall should intensify into the late morning, early afternoon, bringing about 2 to 4 centimeters worth. Winds gustier than what we're seeing today out of the north at 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. From there, we get some sunshine on Wednesday, not a ton of heat along with it. We're cooling off again at minus 16 degrees. And then that snowfall is back on Thursday and Friday with some milder temperatures at minus 8 and minus 11 respectively. But it seems to be a trade-off. We get the sunshine back into the weekend and the cooler temperatures prevail. Minus 19 degrees on both Saturday and Sunday.
Winnipeg police say a man was arrested and charged over the weekend after a woman was threatened with a gun. Investigators say they responded to a call early Saturday to an apartment near the 1500 block of Ward Avenue in Royalwood. A man and a woman were later arrested, but the woman has since been released without charges. Meanwhile, the man is facing multiple charges which have not been tested in court. Nearly 200 Red River Métis citizens and First Nations people are expected to receive training in the mining sector thanks to a federal funding boost.
These projects will build on skills, will create jobs, and open doors to new opportunities across Manitoba. Thank you.
Manitoba Métis Federation is receiving $300,000 to train 150 Métis citizens in the critical minerals sector. Mo-Sakahikan Cree Nation, which is located nearly 500 kilometers northwest of Winnipeg, is also receiving money for industry training and jobs creation, and nearly $100,000 is going to Thompson Regional Airport Authority to begin testing new technology such as drones and automated vehicles. Mourners gathered in Vancouver to honor the lives lost in last week's apartment complex fire in Hong Kong. A large crowd formed Sunday evening, holding a moment of silence. Many placed flowers at a small memorial on the steps of the Vancouver Art Gallery to show solidarity with the victims.
A lot of us in the community are grieving over the fire. We have friends, family, acquaintances, people we know who are affected by the fire, and we just want to get together to remember them and hold space.
The death toll from the blaze, which broke out on Wednesday, has reached at least 146. U.S. President Donald Trump has elaborated on his administration's decision to, quote, permanently pause migration from all third world countries. Here are some of his comments to a reporter on board Air Force One.
How long does your administration plan to pause asylum into the U.S.?
I think a long time.
Can you give any
We don't want them. We don't want those people. We have enough problems. We don't want those people.
Is that a year, 2 years?
No time limit, but it could be a long time.
You said that.
We don't want those people. Do you understand that?
Trump's comments come after a shooting last week in Washington, D.C. that left one National Guard soldier dead and another in critical condition. Officials have accused an Afghan national who entered the U.S. under a resettlement program of perpetrating the shooting. Trump didn't formally name any countries, but said he doesn't want people from countries that aren't friendly to come to the U.S. Trump also told reporters he would denaturalize some U.S. citizens if he could. Newfoundland and Labrador Premier Tony Wickham says the province will review regulations for AI use after fake citations appeared in a health staffing report.
When you hire professional organizations to prepare reports, then you don't expect to get this type of things happening in those reports.
The province paid more than $1 million to Deloitte for a 523-page report meant to guide their next 10 years of hiring. However, questions about the report are now raised because of fake citations in the footnotes, apparently generated by AI. Deloitte has said AI wasn't used to write the report, and this doesn't affect the report's findings. The fake citations were first discovered by The Independent, who published 3 different examples of citations of journal papers that don't exist. It's the second time this year a major government report in the province has included false citations. A lot of people have been swinging by city-run golf courses this year. According to a new report at City Hall, more than 124,000 rounds of golf were played in the 2025 season. That's a 34% increase over the last 5 years. Next year, city officials are recommending green fees increase by $1 a round at Kildonan Park, Windsor Park, and Harbour View. They'd like green fees to increase by $2 a round at the Canoe Club. The report will be discussed at the next Property and Development Committee. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. The northbound curb lane on Main Street will be closed between Euclid to Selkirk. Following rush hours, one lane at a time will be closed on Dufferin between McGregor and Powers. On Gertrude, all lanes will be closed between Osborne and Scott. If you have any other traffic tips to share, please text them to us. And here's a look at now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.30. The provincial average is lower at $1.25. In the city, the average is $1.23. And the lowest price in Winnipeg is $1.09. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
It's a frigid start to your day. It's minus 16 with the wind chill. It feels like minus 26. Your Morning Winnipeg will be right back.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Bundle up, Manitoba, because it is really starting to feel like December out there. Minus 16 degrees with that wind chill, feels more like minus 26. A few clouds in our sky this morning. Winds out of the south at 19 kilometers per hour. Pressure falling. Humidity sitting at 82%. Good amount of sunshine on the way for us here in southern Manitoba. To the north, a little bit more overcast. You can see it already on the radar through much of the province, but ours will dissipate. Theirs will likely stay put. With it comes a slight chance, about a 30% shot of some flurry activity. Likely, though, I'm going to guess you have about mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures quite frigid at minus 16 degrees in Thompson. Much cooler in Gillam at minus 21, minus 22 in Churchill. But downright balmy in Island Lake at minus 12, sitting pretty over there. Much the same to the northwest, but much warmer. Minus 12 degrees in Opaskwayak, Cree Nation, the Pond, Flin Flon, Lynn Lake at minus 15, Norway House at minus 11. But this region, too, carrying that slight chance of some flurry activity. Southwestern Manitoba, a good amount of sunshine on the way. Temperatures peaking in the low teens, a few degrees cooler than what's typical for this time of year. Same for us, a mix of sun and cloud, southerly winds at about 20 kilometers per hour. Temperatures peaking in the low minus teens. For us here in Winnipeg, minus 7 is typical, and we are cooler than that, as you can see. And northwestern Ontario, slight chance of some flurry activity in Red Lake. The rest of you, a decent amount of cloud coverage, Kenora, pocket of sunshine or two to enjoy. Overnight in Winnipeg, temperatures dipping down to minus 16 degrees as those clouds start to roll in our skies. Winds die down out of the south at 20 kilometers per hour. And then into tomorrow, we see some snowfall, about 2 to 4 centimeters worth, care of an Alberta clipper. Warmer temperatures, though, more on par with typical values at minus 8. But overnight, we cool off considerably at minus 21. And Wednesday, we're getting quite chilly at minus 16 under lots of sunshine, clear sunny skies to enjoy.
Thank you, Catherine. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Forks, getting ready to get on the fat bike and go for a ride. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. I always forget that I live here every time it gets this cold. This is not my resting phase, but it's stuck. Dave, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Ainsley.
My very first fat bike, and I'm going to show you guys how it's done. I really like how it glides.
Looking good.
Dave, thank you. Tell me about these tires, though, and why it is the perfect, sorry, I'm thinking of the words, conditions? You know, like how it fits to the conditions, I should say.
Yeah, so I mean, fat biking, these tires are so massive, obviously. It feels kind of funny riding on them for the first time, probably. And
Yeah.
this is your first time on a fat bike this morning, right?
Yes.
Yeah, awesome.
Can confirm.
Yeah, and I mean, the tires make for a really smooth ride. I mean, even when you go over the bumps of the sidewalk here and what have you, you notice that the tires absorb a lot of the bumps and bits of the trail.
Yeah.
And when we have more snow, I mean, we don't have a lot today. There she goes up the hill.
Very brave.
They just float over the snow so well.
Uh-huh.
So they allow you to take a bike in so many more places than one otherwise could. And of course, as you're pedaling, you're getting warmer, right? Maybe?
You stop the same way, right?
Oh yeah, you stop the same way. The brakes are the same.
Okay. What's your favorite trail in Manitoba when it comes to fat biking?
Man, you know what? So many trails are being groomed for fat biking now, which means they're being flattened out. I mean, riding, honestly, up at Birds Hill Park, Grand Beach, out in the Whiteshell, Minnedosa, Northgate Trails. There's so many places to ride fat bikes that get specifically groomed for it. Yeah, the world is your oyster, as they say.
Oh, I feel like I just had ice cream with sensitive teeth. You guys have a big event coming up Saturday.
We do, yeah. Come on out to the Forks, meet up under the canopy. 100+ fat bikers gather. And the nice thing is these are people who otherwise ride mountain bikes or road bikes or gravel bikes, but during the winter we all become one big happy family, and yeah, we'll be celebrating that here on Saturday.
Well, I will be inside with a cup of cocoa.
You'll be thinking of us.
This is awesome. This is not a very glamorous way to end it. Hurtled over in pain. But
She did great, right, Manitoba? She did amazing.
Back to you.
Good work, Ainsley. Well, the holidays are a very busy time of year for Canadians and Canadian businesses. Stores and restaurants often look to boost staffing levels, but just how easy is it to find a job this year? CTV's Sarah Plowman finds out.
At malls across Canada, people are hunting for a deal and some a job. Jaden Flexman landed her holiday gig at Hickory Farms, where she'll sell gourmet meats and cheeses into January.
It was a lot of applying online. There was about 200 online applications I'd done, if not more.
According to the job search site Indeed.com, holiday hiring is up 12% compared to last year, but companies aren't posting as many positions as they did 2 or 3 years ago.
There are going to be a few more options potentially out there. At the same time, job seekers are potentially competing with more of their peers.
Bernard says it's been a tough market for job seekers the past few years. Canada's unemployment rate is about 7%. The youth unemployment rate is double that.
To really get the labor market moving in the right direction, we just need a stronger overall economy.
To help keep up with holiday demand, Endeavours and Think Play in Fredericton posted one seasonal job. More than 180 applied.
We have combed through all of those resumes.
People with retail experience, but surprisingly, a lot of nurses too.
A lot of the applicants I noticed, there were multiple current positions and they're looking for a second, a third.
In Brandon, Manitoba, Toy Masters brought on new staff, including students, but had to turn dozens of people away.
It really breaks my heart to see how hard it is for a lot of these young adults and kids to be finding jobs these days.
Come January, Flexman will have another job. She has advice for anyone searching.
Just keep in mind budgeting, and paper resumes do still work sometimes, so don't give up on those.
Tips to digest when there's no avoiding a challenge. Sarah Plowman, CTV News, Fredericton.
Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 50th birthday to Tracy from Daryl, Madison, Taylor, and Rocky. And a happy 100th birthday to Shirley from all your friends at the Soul and Clarabelle Simpkins Center. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff. 3 Winnipeg locations and at partystuff.ca. Weather brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful, helping your home get holiday ready with blinds from Hunter Douglas.
We certainly
certainly didn't ease into December with these temperatures, but you know what? This is what makes us Manitobans. We are gritty, because look at this high today on just the first day of December, minus 11 degrees, a few degrees cooler than what's typical. And considering we've been dealing with above seasonal temperatures for the last couple of days, it feels quite stark. Of course, we're even cooler than last year, but well off the record set back in the last 2 centuries ago. There we go. In terms of our temperatures today, as seen, it's going to be quite chilly, and that'll be the case throughout much of southern Manitoba, with a good amount of sunshine on the way for us. The breeze will pack a bite. We'll have that cooler wind chill value in effect in the morning, making it feel more like minus 20 degrees at times. To the north, more overcast day. You're starting off under the clouds, and they won't be dissipating like they will here in the south. Temperatures peaking there in the southeast in the upper minus teens, and a few degrees cooler, or warmer, excuse me, in the northwest. Cooler, warmer. Tough concepts. Meanwhile, you have a slight chance of some flurry activity, about a 30% shot, but that intensifies overnight, and then tomorrow you're likely to get snowfall off and on throughout the day. For us here in the south, a mix of sun and clouds, some southerly winds, temperatures as mentioned in the low minus teens. Overnight, we start to see those clouds stack up, those winds ease off, but then tomorrow, a clipper coming in brings a good chance of some snow, about 2 to 4 centimeters worth. That'll last overnight before tapering off into Wednesday, where the sun reemerges, but that temperature falls off again with a high of minus 16.
Manitoba has been seeing a spike in new HIV cases this year. From January 1st to June 30th of this year, 189 new diagnoses of HIV were tracked in this province. December 1st is World AIDS Day, and Sunshine House Winnipeg is hosting an event to raise awareness and to break the stigma surrounding HIV. Joining us now from Sunshine House is Michaela Chotka. Good morning, Michaela.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, World AIDS Day, why is this day important to mark and to talk about?
It's important since 1988. It's been hosted around the world. People to fight against, again, the stigma, as you mentioned, to raise awareness, and also ultimately prevention, and push governments around the world to, help, fight against the spread of the virus and ultimately end the pandemic.
We're seeing huge numbers here in this province. What is happening?
We are seeing, well, the number one new cause of transmission is intravenous substance use. It used to be, sexual transmission was the top way that the virus was spread. So I mean, right now what we're seeing is, I think since COVID and the increase that we've seen in homelessness, and as well as just, I think, overall, it's there's a lot of factors to factor into it, but I do believe that what we're seeing is just an increase overall, just due to a multitude of things, including situations people are finding themselves in, lack of access to resources. It's was swept under the rug for a while, I believe.
Okay. And Sunshine House is doing what it can to address this problem.
Yes, we are. We offer STBBI testing for anyone that can come into our location, usually at least once a month, as well as we provide harm reduction supplies like safe substance use kits and things like that, and as well as take part in events that help raise awareness as well.
Okay, one of the parts of today's event is to break the stigma surrounding HIV. Tell us about some of the stigma out there and how we break those.
Well, just people living with HIV now obviously have a much better prognosis overall. Back in the 80s, essentially it was a death sentence, but with the advent of new antivirals, as well as new treatments and medications, just healthier living, awareness of the virus and how it's spread, people are living longer, healthy lives. On antiviral treatment, you can live as long a lifespan as anyone else. You can live a healthy lifespan, and you can also not transmit the virus if it is sufficiently suppressed, through the use of these medications. So it's undetectable in your bloodstream, and undetectable means untransmissible.
It's really changed the world.
Yeah.
For a lot of people.
Lifesaver. There's also a lot of preventative medications as well now, like post-exposure and pre-exposure prophylactics, which the Manitoba government has actually made free for all citizens. It's accessible. There's trying to reduce the barriers to accessing this medication, and by getting the word out. Anyone can get access to these life-saving medications and reduce their chances of even contacting the virus if exposed by up to 99%.
Okay, let's talk about the event that's happening at Sunshine House today. What's happening?
Well, it's actually at Access Downtown. It's 640 Main Street. So it is our World HIV event that we're having, World HIV Day event, sorry. So right there, we're going to have a sharing circle. We're going to discuss, again, addressing the stigma, address, initiatives that the government could potentially be taking to help reduce transmission and assist, get out awareness. For example, a lot of people still aren't aware that these, preventative medications are available free of charge to any doctor, nurse practitioner can go out and you can go see any of the doctors and nurse practitioners and just be prescribed this medication. No questions asked, no referral to a specialist. So there's a lot of awareness that needs to go out, because by preventing transmission in the first place, it's how we overcome this spike in the virus. Okay. So we'll be having a sharing circle as well, and we'll have some speakers, some education and care just around the whole HIV pandemic, and some food and beverages served as well, and a community art project.
Okay, and if you do want more information, we have a link on our website. Thank you, Michaela.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, Mark Rowe inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Sunday before we head to Sunday Night Football. Broncos taking on the Commanders. 3rd and goal, Marcus Mariota looking end zone, lofts it to Traylon Burks, who makes the incredible one-handed catch in the corner of the end zone, fighting off the defender with one hand and making one of the catches of the season with the other. He earns your must-see moment from Sunday, and tonight on TSN, we wrap up Week 13 in the NFL with Monday Night Football. The Giants facing the Patriots. Coverage beginning at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific, with kickoff just after 8 p.m. Eastern. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
The TSN Must-See Moment is brought to you by Super Blinds, helping your home get holiday ready with Blinds by Hunter Douglas.
It's Monday, December 1st. Flu cases on the rise. What's your best option for protection as concerns mount over a spike in emergency room visits? The Prime Minister will head to Washington this week, while observers are throwing cold water on any expectations for a trade breakthrough. And an innovative new hockey program is making the sport more inclusive of blind and partially sighted participants. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It's 8 o'clock. Thank you so much for staying with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. In the next hour, we have the Canadian manufacturers and exporters joining us. They have just released a brand new report. It is called Manufacturing Manitoba's Future. So we're going to find out a little bit more on how this trade war, since it came in on February the 1st, how it's affected manufacturing in this province and what the plan is as we move forward. So we're going to find out that at about 8:15, but the weather is a cold one today.
Oh, yes, it certainly does feel like the first day of December. In fact, a little bit colder than what we're used to. Minus 16 degrees with that wind chill, feels more like minus 26. A mix of sun and cloud to kick us off. That'll be the case through much of the day. The winds are out of the south this hour at 19 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling, the humidity sitting at 82%. Good amount of sunshine for us here in the south, decently overcast in northern Manitoba. As you can see, a good thick blanket kind of enveloping much of northern Manitoba as our clouds start to break up. However, there is a slight chance of some flurry activity to the north. It doesn't really pick up so well on the futurecast. You do see those clouds intensify while we stay nice and clear. But we're keeping an eye over here on the west of this weak system here. It's a clipper moving in from western Manitoba, bringing a good chance of some snowfall, about 2 to 4 centimeters worth in southern Manitoba. The north likely to deal with a sprinkling of snowfall into Tuesday as well, not to the degree that we're seeing. And then overnight, you start to see those clouds clear out nicely, setting the stage for a rather sunny Wednesday ahead. However, bringing along with it, not bringing along with it the heat. Backtracking to today, a high of minus 11, about minus 7 or minus 8 is more typical for this time of year. We'll be dealing with decently strong southerly winds. They'll taper off overnight before tomorrow, when our temperatures rebound nicely to minus 8 with that snowfall. But Wednesday, it's a bit of a trade-off. We get the sunshine back, but we lose the heat, quite frigid at minus 16 degrees. Your weather art of the day, Amelia drew this one, a lovely chart charcoal drawing by just 10-year-old Amelia, as mentioned. Meanwhile, we are featuring weather art every day here on Your Morning Winnipeg. So if you've got a photo of your kids' artwork, you'd love to see them, just email them to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
2 people are facing drug trafficking charges following a raid in the Maples. Winnipeg police served a search warrant at an apartment on Adsum Drive on November 26th. They seized about $32,000 worth of cocaine and fentanyl, about $11,000 in cash and other items, including about $63,000 worth of jewelry. A 20-year-old man and a 23-year-old woman are charged with drug trafficking offenses. They were released on undertakings. Flu cases are rising across the country, and there's concern ER visits and hospitalizations could increase.
Your flu shot, your COVID shot, your RSV shot. Remember, if you get one of those other respiratory diseases, the chances of you also picking up the flu are very strong.
New data from Health Canada show flu cases jumped to more than 2,100 last week. That's up from close to 1,400 the previous week. Health officials say the best thing people can do is get your flu shot. Manitoba is renewing its call for a national electricity grid to move more power among provinces and territories. Premier Wam Kanu says it's a good time to build domestic energy transmission in an era of economic threats from the United States. A national grid would need federal money, and Manitoba is now signing on to an Ontario-led memorandum calling for the project.
They've got the big checkbook. If we want to build that transmission line to northern Saskatchewan, to northern Alberta, to help decarbonize oil and gas in Canada, this is the time to do it. And it'll help employers like PTI, the workers that you see around us here today. It'll help you with the cost of living, and it'll help Trump-proof our economy.
Manitoba Hydro already exports power to some areas in Ontario, Saskatchewan, and the United States. The province is looking to set up wind power generation in conjunction with Indigenous-led organizations. The utility has warned it needs new power generation as early as 2029. The Prime Minister is set to travel to Washington this week with plans to see U.S. President Donald Trump, but experts say Canadians shouldn't expect too much from the interaction.
Prime Minister will be trying to tap down expectations. This happens to be an event that happens to bring them together. This is not an event that is intended to see some sort of resumption of trade talks, so that if even the slightest progress occurs, then it can be seen as a win. And I don't think the Prime Minister is trying to encourage Canadians to expect that, there's going to be some high five return to vigorous talks between Canada and the United States. That really does not seem to be in the cards. In fact, if anything, there seems to be real anxiety in Ottawa about the future of CUSMA, Canada, U.S., Mexico free trade, and what Donald Trump's intentions are toward that agreement.
Carney is heading to the U.S. Capitol for the 2026 FIFA World Cup draw, which is set to be held on Friday. A first-of-its-kind program in Manitoba is heading toward its finale. The first shift blind hockey program kicked off 6 weeks ago at the Hockey for All Centre in West Winnipeg. It's open to Manitobans aged 6 to 25 who are blind or partially sighted, helping them ease into hockey in a friendly, affordable setting. Sunday marked one of their final sessions of the year. When players wrap up this intro program, they move on to the next level of blind hockey, set to start in January. Here's a look now at what's going on Donald Street. You can see traffic has really picked up in this part of the city. We have no issues to tell you about, though, at this point in the drive. If you see any problems out there, let us know, please. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who just got off the fat bike and had a good time. How are you feeling?
Don't speak for me. I'm just kidding.
Not a good time?
I'm just messing with you. No, I'm having a blast. It's just cold, that's all. Thank you so much. From sand to snow, though, fat bikes are quite versatile. Dave is joining me once again, and you guys go on, I'll say, expeditions with these things. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, there are a lot of adventures. I mean, to be clear for anybody that's, questioning a little bit what we're doing out here this morning, I used to despise winter, and it has been this thing that has transformed my relationship with winter and thus seeked out the adventures that you mentioned. There's so many things to do on a fat bike. For those who, I will say, inevitably become enthusiasts, because once you jump into this, you're like, what opportunities are there? There are all kinds of things. I mean, we've obviously got Global Fat Bike Day coming up this Saturday here. In February, there's this amazing event called Active Epica, which takes place out of Winnipeg here and out of St. Pierre-Jolie, where people ride 50, 100-plus kilometers in an event. So there's neat things like that. And then there's also trips out of province, too, that we do.
Wow. Tell me about it.
Yeah, Escape the Hoofman is the name of the road trip. Yeah, myself and a pile of other fat bikers, we hit up 2 spots in Manitoba first on day 1, and then we ended up actually venturing into northern Saskatchewan. So we drive up there, leave our vehicles on the side of the road, and actually end up going out to an amazing place called Big Eddie Lodge, which is owned by the Carrière family. And they provide this incredible Cree Métis hospitality, and we're off-grid, and we fat bike out there for a couple of days in the great Saskatchewan River Delta, and it's absolute magic. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, these are the types of people who do morning marathons. I just know it. Yeah, look at his face. He's a trails guy. Okay, I'm messing with you. So we're almost out of time, but it's not just for the extreme adventurers. Tell us about the community.
Yeah, so the community is really remarkable. I mean, winter's hard, right? I mean, this morning's a good example of that. Winter's hard, so leaning into something that everybody can do. I mean, what I think I love about fat biking the most is the difference between the elite level fat biker and the novice it narrows a lot, because look, you can only go so fast in the things.
And we're looking at it.
Yeah, we are.
There's a difference. We're out of time, Dave. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you, Ainsley.
Bye.
Well, we've been treated to some incredible celestial light shows this month thanks to solar storms in the upper atmosphere. And researchers in Saskatchewan have those storms under close observation. CTV's Allison Bamford has more on what they hope to find.
On nights with major solar storms, Matt Melnick's view looks like this. From 39,000 feet in the air, he sees the result of particles from the sun crashing into Earth's atmosphere.
They just look so much more defined and bright. You can pick out and see all the movements and all the pillars and everything. It's quite amazing.
Stunning spectacles of northern lights are growing more frequent as the sun reaches its peak of an 11-year solar cycle. An exciting time for aurora chasers and researchers.
We get a lot more data, and it's also generally a bit more interesting.
Daniel Billett is an assistant director with Superdarn Canada, a group that keeps tabs on the weather in space and studies the impacts of it here on Earth.
We're literally measuring the motion of the upper atmosphere.
Billett's work largely focuses on how solar wind affects low-orbit satellites.
Orbits can change a little bit, and that means they can come down. And if they're on unpredictable trajectories, that means there could be risk of collision.
Studies show solar storms can create powerful electric currents with potential to impact power grids, degrade pipelines, and interfere with navigation and communication signals.
We look at convection up in the ionosphere, and you can make the analogy that this is like high and low pressure systems, except for we're looking at electric potentials or electric voltages in high and low voltage systems.
Predicting the weather in space is much more difficult than forecasting it here on Earth, with less data and more variables at play. But researchers here say they hope more information can help change that. Allison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
Casting our eye to the sky on this Monday, it's chilly and cloudy, minus 16 degrees. That wind chill, though, cooling us off to another minus 26. As mentioned, those winds fast and furious out of the south-southwest at 20, gusting at times to 30 kilometers per hour. They've ramped up since even earlier this morning. Pressure is falling. Humidity sits at 82%. We've got some sunshine coming to Winnipeg and to much of southern Manitoba. The temperatures, though, will be quite sluggish. We're starting off on a very cold note. Minus 18 in Brandon, particularly chilly there. Minus 16 in Morden and Winkler. Minus 13 in Kenora in northwestern Ontario. In northern Manitoba, it is very cold in the very northerly parts. Minus 21 in Lynn Lake. Minus 26 in Churchill. But with that wind chill, it feels closer to minus 40. So please bundle up if you're heading outside. That goes for us here in southern Manitoba. The good news is we're going to be joined by some sunshine. You can already see those clouds starting to break up, while in the north they're going to stay put for the most part. Decently overcast skies. Certainly you want to bundle up the kids as they head off on the school bus. Minus 15 degrees as they arrive under a mix of sun and cloud. We get a little bit warmer into the lunch hour at minus 11, and not a lot changing on the way home. In fact, that is our high for today, minus 11. Minus 7 is more what's typical for this time of year, and we're kind of bouncing around away from that through the next couple of days. Overnight, tonight, temperatures dipping down to -16 as skies start to cloud over. Winds ease off a little bit. And then Tuesday, a weak clipper moving in from the west brings snowfall, very likely on Tuesday, about 2 to 4 centimeters worth, -8 degrees. And then Wednesday, there's that trade-off. We got the sunshine back, but the cool temperatures return with a high of -16 degrees. And then Thursday, we heat up, and again, we're back with those clouds and those flurries. Alrighty, we're going to take a break. Plenty more Your Morning Winnipeg still to come.
When you give a child a winter coat, you give them the means to go to school on a cold day, a chance to play outside, because no child should be freezing cold. Donate to Coats for Kids. Proudly sponsored by United Way Winnipeg and CTV.
Canada's biggest banks are expected to post a boost in earnings this week, even with the U.S. trade war and economic uncertainty weighing on borrowing among consumers. Canada's 6 largest lenders will release their fiscal year-end earnings this week, and analysts expect that higher fee-based income to prop up profits for them, and that is after a year of strong financial markets and some share price volatility. Also, Airbus announcing that the vast majority of its 6,000 A320 family aircraft impacted by a software glitch received the necessary modification over the weekend. They made the announcement on Friday that there were some concerns with it, and they've been working all through the weekend to update them. And there are about 100 that are still affected by the glitch, but they will be updated. They are grounded for now. Those are your morning business headlines. I'm Roger Peterson for BNN Bloomberg.
February 1st was the day U.S. President Donald Trump first started imposing tariffs on Canadian exports. As a result, businesses, manufacturers, and exporters in this country have had to change or pivot the way they operate. Here in Manitoba, manufacturers play a huge role, bringing billions to our local economy. The Prairies Division of Canadian Manufacturers and Exporters, or CME, has just released a new report on the future of Manitoba's manufacturing industry. Joining us now from the CME is Jillian Enerson. Good morning, Jillian.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, today is exactly 10 months since this U.S. trade war began. What effect has that had on manufacturing and exporting in this province?
So it's been a very challenging time, especially for the manufacturing sector, with tariffs on steel, aluminum, automotive. So the manufacturers have had to pivot. They've had to deal with this uncertainty, and this is really what this report is all about, is listening to kind of the issues that manufacturers are facing and then working with them directly to develop solutions.
So how are they doing? Because it's 10 months, so it's hard to gauge exactly what's happening in the environment or in the economics of it all. But how are they doing so far?
It's been challenging. Yeah, it's been a challenging time. They've been hit hard. What they really need is a long-term, a good deal with the United States. But there's recommendations, in the report that we've developed, including continuing on with innovative programming like the Made in Manitoba program. So that's a program that's currently supported through the province of Manitoba, and it's a partnership with CME. And there's program dollars that go towards raising the visibility of manufactured products in Manitoba and increasing market access.
Okay, and so who was part of this report? Who did you talk to?
Right, so we had a very comprehensive engagement process. We held 7 roundtables across Manitoba, and we met with 59 manufacturers from 44 different companies. And we really heard their experiences from the shop floor, what their major challenges were, and what some of those solutions are from their perspective. And so this report provides 16 recommendations that are really action-oriented to propel manufacturing and support economic growth in Manitoba.
So these manufacturers that you're picking their brain, you're getting this information from them, now you're sharing it with other manufacturers across the province.
Absolutely. We're sharing it with government. So there's a number of different recommendations in there that we're really excited to speak to Premier Canoe, his cabinet ministers, and government officials on how we can propel manufacturing forward. forward. One of the main issues that we did hear from manufacturers was challenges around workforce. So finding labor, retaining labor, finding the right skill set. And so one of our recommendations in the report is establishing an initiative that is modeled after the successful Agriculture in the Classroom initiative called Manufacturing in the Classroom, and really exposing youth from K to 12 to the opportunities that are available working in manufacturing, and providing them with internships and project-based learning so that they can develop the skills that they need and see the opportunities that are available in the sector.
But then the next step to that is training as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So we're also recommending that we have a skills partnership program where there's a connection between industry, post-secondaries, and industry associations to ensure that programming that's offered really reflects the needs of what our manufacturers require when it comes to skills.
So this future plan that you have, is it projecting for the next year? Is it 10 years? What are we looking at?
Yeah, so it's projecting out into the future, I'd say over the next 5 years. But of course, it's really important that we ensure that the report reflects the current state, right? As we know, there's been a lot of unpredictability over the last 10 months. So, you know, we're committed to ensuring that the report reflects the realities that manufacturers are facing, that we're tracking any developments in terms of the implementation of the recommendations, and that it really is a robust strategy to propel manufacturing forward in Manitoba and increase our competitiveness.
Jillian, thank you for this.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on this morning.
Of course, anytime.
It's a chilly start to your Monday at minus 16 degrees. That wind chill in effect making it feel more like minus 26. A couple clouds out here, but that sun's starting to peek out. The pressure is dropping, humidity at 82%. We've got a cooler day ahead, and the good news is some sunshine to kind of cushion the blow, if you will. In Winnipeg and through much of the south, we're dealing with highs in the low minus teens. For Winnipeg, it's more typical to feel like minus 7. Some strong-ish southerly winds. Meanwhile, to the north, you'll have overcast skies, slight chance of some flurry activity, very slight. Likely, though, you'll stay cloudy and dry. Temperatures there chilly, especially in the northeast in the upper minus teens, where areas around the Paw and Flin Flon will feel closer to what we're seeing here in Winnipeg in the low to mid minus teens. Overnight, skies start to cloud over here in southern Manitoba, while in the north, your chance of some snowfall does intensify. And we join the club as well. A slow, kind of weak clipper moving in from the west is bringing the good chance of some snowfall for us here in southern Manitoba. About 2 to 4 centimeters is possible. And we're not quite done with it after it tapers off overnight Tuesday. We'll get the sunshine on Wednesday, but we have another chance of flurry activity on Thursday. So keep that shovel handy. Your Skywatch picture of the day, fall and winter in one photo, as Maureen noticed. Thanks for snapping that one in Grand Marais, and keep your weather pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Here at Your Morning, we love the sights of the season. We want to see how you've decked the halls. All those decorations could help you win a $500 gift card from Red River Co-op and have the chance to show off your holiday house live on Your Morning Winnipeg with a visit from Ainsley McPhail. To enter, head to our contest page at ctvwinnipeg.ca, fill out the form, and submit some pictures. Good luck.
Let there be light this holiday season. We're at St. Mary's Nursery and Garden Center. Carla's joining us once again. And Carla, the amount of options that you have when it comes to brightening up this Christmas.
There are so many options, complete from unlit Christmas trees to lit Christmas trees, flashy blinking Christmas trees. But what we take a look at too is the lighting for indoors and outdoors, how you can accent your holiday displays to make it a little bit brighter. And the one thing I say is lighting, using lighting on outdoors. We are darker, and it actually adds a little bit more security. It brightens things up too outside, and you can have fun with it. Like you have your traditional warm LED lights, right down to, if you can get the look, these are called the cherry lights.
So pretty.
And a lot of them are programmable that you can either having flipping or phasing and doing different types of things. And even going, when you're looking at it, take a look at whether you're looking for warm lights. And a warm light will have sort of a yellowy glow to it, whereas a cool light will have a blue glow. But if you're looking up at top, this is where we come into a new category that we have. It's the orb section of lightings. So we love these, and right down to the butterfly. Like the butterfly itself, I would leave that up in the summertime in the evening when you're out in the dark. That would look beautiful on a wall.
So smart.
Yep. And when we get into the orbs, indoors or outdoors, you can hide the wiring. The wiring, it comes with long cords so that you can place them in different locations. This in the middle of a table centerpiece wreath would look kind of give it a little bit of glow. But when you get into the category of the larger orbs, this is where I kind of go, ooh, this is so much fun.
Like more people need to do it.
You know what? We've put orbs like orbs and bands of balls in trees, but use it where it's already pre-lit in different sizing. And this one actually accordions down so that if you want to store it, you can store it closed. Now, take a porch pot.
Okay.
Take this upside down. Put it so the cording is nestled in, and now you have this huge orb that's lit with birch poles and stuff into it so that you're able to do a great display. Now, one that is through here, they're smaller and larger. So if you do them in combinations of sizing in trees or in containers at your entrance. And the one that I really want to show you is, it's called the jellyfish light. It's in the box here now, but it gives you this capacity where if you have a three-season room or even a room in the house that you want to accentuate things, you can actually have the dome go over with the trailing jellyfish lights. It's so much fun.
Thank you so much, Carla. Anything else you want to show us?
Well, if you're looking at it, it's always better to come down, take a look at it. And in the back room, it's lit right now, but in the evening, our back room where the fresh cut trees and greens are becomes a beautiful Arctic blue room so that you can enjoy the lights at night.
Thank you so much. This has been Get Growing.
Get Growing is brought to you by St. Mary's Nursery and Garden Center. Get a lush yard and garden thanks to expert advice from gardening professionals. Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
We're definitely no longer in the dress rehearsal for winter. It has arrived. Minus 16 degrees, feeling more like minus 26 with that wind chill. Cloudy, gusty, pressure falling, humidity at 82%. Yeah, most of us are waking up to some startling conditions, if you will. It was certainly chilly over the weekend, but not like we're seeing to kick us off today. Meanwhile, we are getting a good amount of sunshine here in southern Manitoba. You can start to see that cloud coverage break up, while the north stays decently overcast. To you as well in northeast, you likely, you have a slight chance. Let's cushion that of some flurry activity today. About a 30% shot. Likely it's going to just be cloudy and chilly. Less so in Island Lake at minus 12, but the rest of the region a little bit frostier at minus 16 in Thompson, minus 21 in Gillam, minus 22 in Churchill. To the northeast, you also have a slight chance. Come on, Betty, let's go. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Let me dance over here and do this the old-fashioned way. Okay. Nope, we're just frozen. Okay, folks. Oh, there we go. To the northeast, likely a bit more overcast, slight chance of that flurry activity. Temperatures in the low teens for you as well. We made it work. Southwestern Manitoba, temperatures in the low minus teens. A mix of sun and cloud for you. Decently strong southerly winds. It's much the same for us here in south central Manitoba. Temperatures a few degrees cooler in certain areas. Minus 11 here in Winnipeg. Minus 7 is what's typical. And northwestern Ontario, mix of sun and cloud for you. Temperatures very similar, a little bit more overcast in Dryden and Fort Francis. Overnight tonight, we'll start to see some clouds roll in, temperatures dipping down to minus 16. And then tomorrow, a weak clipper moving in from the west brings a good chance of some flurries, about 2 to 4 centimeters of actually snow coming our way, with a warmer high of minus 8.
Some 260 trees are slated to come down in the Shaughnessy Heights neighborhood as Manitoba Hydro continues its vegetation management blitz. The Crown Utilities says the trees along Selkirk Avenue are too close to power lines. Power outages have been happening there because the branches and lines are coming into contact. The work is expected to begin this week. A spokesperson says all the trees are either on city or rail yard property. It's all part of a wider safety initiative which kicked off this summer. CTV Winnipeg's annual Toy Mountain campaign is expanding the list of drop-off locations this year.
My mom had a lot of fun in it.
That's TJ Oakley hitting the airwaves with our friends from Bounce 99 and 9 and 103.1 Virgin Radio at Access Storage across from IKEA on Saturday. This year we're trying to serve about 8,500 children, which is 2,500 more than last year. The Salvation Army said that's because they have really seen the need increase. And with these added locations, they're hoping to make donations easier and more convenient.
We know that folks are really pressed for time. It's a really busy time of the year for just about anyone. So if we can offer more options for them to donate on their schedule, it makes it easier for the family to get involved. And hopefully, if you're already doing some running around, we can just be another stop along the way.
We're looking for new unwrapped toys for children age of 0 to 12. This weekend, we are having another Toy Mountain pop-up at CF Polo Park. A full list of locations is available on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. The Cake and Bake Show wowed guests over the weekend in London.
There really isn't a limit now to what people can make with cake. Like, it can be huge, it can be life size, it can be so intricately detailed and textured that you don't know whether it's cake or not.
Festive, show-stopping cakes even had people wondering if the cake was really cake. Some looked like turkey dinners or cheese boards. There was also a life-size Grinch cake that had everyone thinking Merry Grinchmas. A group of Manitoba researchers is building a satellite to be sent where no Canadian spacecraft has ever gone before, into the moon's orbit. CTV's Alex Karpa explores the new chapter in moon exploration, which is putting University of Manitoba researchers at the forefront.
So this is a CubeSat. This satellite may look small, but it carries some large aspirations. This is by far the most challenging thing that I've ever taken on. Philip Ferguson and his Starlab team at the University of Manitoba are developing a lunar exploration spacecraft called CubeSat, which will not only orbit the moon, but also send a device to the lunar surface to collect scientific data. We're looking for different kinds of minerals that we could potentially use as fuel, or minerals that we could use to help support life on the moon as we practice to get ready for Martian colonizations. This is the first time a Canadian spacecraft will leave Earth and go into lunar orbit. Andrew Bowman says this is a great opportunity for students like himself to work with industry leaders on important projects.
I'm a PhD student, but there are master's students and probably will be undergraduate students involved as well. So really getting all levels trained and qualified to help with all the future missions. This satellite is scheduled to launch sometime in late 2027, but it's not just researchers working on this device. The university is co-developing this satellite with Indigenous groups and youth.
My experience as a child about my fascination of stars, and I know many of our kids are like that.
Some hope that kind of engagement will inspire the next generation.
Science and engineering is part of their culture and heritage, so we want to bring that and give them some exciting applications for today.
Ferguson believes this will be the first of many lunar missions led by Manitobans. How can we use the moon in the future as a stepping stone to get to Mars? It may be a small satellite for space, but Ferguson said it's certainly a giant leap forward for Canadian exploration of our closest celestial neighbor. Alex Karpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Here's a look now at what's happening on Portage Avenue. It looks like traffic volumes are already light and things are moving quite well in this part of the city. If you have any traffic tips or updates to share, text them to us, please, at 10400. And let's look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.30. The provincial average is lower at $1.25. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.23. And the lowest price in the city is $1.09. All this information is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
For our question of the day, we wanted to know, what's your favorite kind of pie? Harold and Irene say absolutely, hands down, Salisbury House wafer pie, aka flapper pie. Oh, it sounds good. Auntie Nina had trouble choosing, telling us her favorite fruit pie is strawberry rhubarb and cherry, and she loves coconut cream and banana cream pie. Louise's all-time favorite pie is raisin pie, with apple pie a close second. Peter says Saskatoon and rhubarb hot out of the oven with a scoop of French vanilla ice cream. That is my favorite as well. Craig's is raisin pie. Gina says her favorite pie is her mom's lemon meringue. Ken's is blueberry. Spence says banana cream pie. Jennifer's favorite pie is pecan pie. Marlene enjoys rhubarb pie and coconut cream pie. Selena's favorite pie is cherry. Thank you so much for your responses. Santa was busy this weekend, and not just at the North Pole. He was also in Halifax lending a group of festive dogs at the annual Christmas Pet Parade. And as CTV's Jesse Thomas reports, it was all in support of a good cause.
The only thing louder than the jingle bells was the barking of dozens of dogs. Big, medium, small, and smaller. They strutted the sidewalks in everything from Christmas sweaters to reindeer antlers, and one even hitched a ride in a remote control car.
Because of COVID, and it just keep, the first year we started with about 15 dogs, and it's just continued to grow and grow, and it's just amazing because the dog lovers come out, the dogs love it, everyone in the community comes out and watches. I've noticed there's been a lot more people out on the street watching for it.
15 years later, there were nearly 100 pet owners and their four-legged friends making their way up and down Quinpool Road, spreading holiday cheer and turning the business district into one big festive fur ball.
I don't know, he's like his family, so it's just nice to get him to experience Christmas and get in the festival. Yeah.
I just love seeing all the dogs and all the people, and I love getting the family all together.
Well, it's a fun day for the family to be here, and it's a nice cause.
Last year, the parade raised $1,500 for the local SPCA, and with this year's turnout being even bigger, organizers are confident they'll top it.
I would say that this is the best year yet.
Participants warmed up with a hot chocolate while waiting for the main event, a photo with Santa himself. Have all the dogs ended up on Santa's good list?
Ho, ho, ho! All the dogs are very special, very good.
For many, it's becoming a new holiday tradition.
This is our first time, yeah.
What do you think?
It's been great. We can't believe how many dogs are here. Dudley's usually very shy, but he's done very well today, so we're very proud parents.
Jesse Thomas, CTV News, Halifax.
So cute. Those dogs will definitely need booties and little sweaters today.
That's right. If we're feeling the cold, they are. So be sure to bundle them up, but get them out for a walk, because if you're dressed for it, it can be nice out here, but a little bit shocking compared to some of the conditions we had just last week. It is -16 with that wind chill, feels more like -26. A few clouds out there, although it's brighter here in downtown Winnipeg. Strong south-southwesterly winds at 20, gusting at times to 30 kilometers per hour. Pressure falling, humidity sits at 82%. So very bright and very cool is what we're expecting in southwestern Manitoba. Highs in the low -teens. For us in Winnipeg, that's -11, when -7 is what's typical. These southerly winds will remain fairly strong throughout the day. Meanwhile, to the north, overcast skies, a very slight chance of some snowfall for you, about a 30% shot, so likely you're staying dry. Temperatures in the northwest in the mid-teens, and to the northeast, much cooler in the upper -teens to low -20s. Overnight, clouds roll in here in southern Manitoba. Temperatures dip to the upper -teens. With that wind chill, though, it'll feel more like -25 degrees, quite chilly. And then tomorrow, a weak clipper moving in from the west brings a good amount of snowfall to the south. That's about 2 to 4 centimeters worth is what it's pegged at by Environment and Climate Change Canada. That should taper off overnight into Wednesday, setting the stage for a sunny but very chilly day with a high of 16 degrees. Okay, we're going to take a break, pay a couple bills around these parts, but stay with us. So much more Your Morning Winnipeg just ahead.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
World Fat Bike Day is coming up this weekend. Ainsley got a chance to do some biking outside. How's it going there? What's going on now?
Rochelle, I'm having a blast. I think that I can be convinced as long as somebody buys me a fat bike. This is truly awesome, though, and it is quite the community here in Manitoba. Joel and Aggie joined me. We've got, I don't know if you guys know this, Swan River's finest, Joel, all the way from Swan River, to tell us about why you got into this, number one, and some of the trails out there.
Yeah, so I got into it just because it's a great way to get physically fit and enjoy the outdoors, and it's just a fantastic community. You meet all sorts of people like you never thought you would. It's an incredible time. Like, yeah, definitely get a hold of Dave if you're thinking about getting into biking, because he's made so many friendships happen, that guy. And yeah, Swan River, just trying to build more and more trails, like try and have a network of trails through Manitoba just as good as BC.
Oh, I love that. And I was like, what's this little apparatus here? Tell the audience about it and how many clicks you've put on this thing.
Yeah, it's a Garmin. It's used to track my kilometers for training, and I'm just under 7,000 kilometers of riding this year.
For me to try and fathom that, I'm like, I don't know if I put that on my vehicle. Where have you taken it?
I went to BC 3 times this year. I also raced at the Nationals in Thunder Bay. So yeah, you put a lot of kilometers both indoors on a trainer, which can be very boring. And so part of why I like fat biking is because you get to be outside and you get to meet people. And yeah, you get to do something other than stare at a wall, basically, right? When you're indoor training, it can be quite boring. So yeah.
I love the alternative to staring at a wall. Yeah. How did Nationals go?
It went. It went, and yeah, hopefully I'll do differently next year. But yeah, every race that you do is a different kind of experience that you take away. You make friendships, and you learn about yourself as an athlete and as a person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you guys are certainly more advanced. We're looking at a beginner here, and maybe there's someone at home who hasn't tried it. Before we're out of time, one last plug.
Oh, goodness, just try it. Like, I maybe biked a little bit in school, and I had friends that just said, like, get into it, go for it. And it's been, I don't know, maybe 4 years now, and I absolutely love it. Own all kinds of bikes. It's a bit of an addiction now, and it's just the best fun.
Thank you so much. And what a beautiful province that we have to be able to do this and take advantage of this. If you're interested in even coming to the Forks on Saturday, and there might be a couple dozen or 100 fat bikers here. Back to you.
Having some traditions is part of what makes the holiday season so much fun. Sherry French is joining us this morning to share some traditions of her own, and maybe you can get some ideas from what she'll be sharing today. Good morning, Sherry.
Good morning. And yes, tradition is such an important part of the holidays, and decorating and time go hand in hand, because our kids, our families, we're always so busy, but it's a perfect time to spend time together as a family and decorate. So it's a key memory. I remember, decorating with my parents, with my brother. We want to create those same memories for our kids. And where do you get the stuff to decorate? My mom and I, in the last few weeks, have been multiple times to HomeSense, because they've got a great mix of cozy decor and family-friendly finds, all at prices that make it easy to celebrate the holidays in style without overspending. So you'll see a lot of great things that I picked up. So they've got these beautiful throws, pillows for your couch. I've got this tablecloth that will be on my dining room table this holiday season. I just came back from seeing the polar bears in Churchill. I had to get a Christmas polar bear. Games and puzzles too when my kids are home, because my kids are out of the house now, but when they come home, games and puzzles. Head to HomeSense. I promise you're going to find everything that you need to decorate, as well as shop for anybody on your gift list this year.
Very nice. And a little bit of time that you got to spend with your mom shopping together, too. Just
multiple times. Do not tell my father.
Love that. What are some of your other ideas that you're going to share today?
Well, let's start a holiday tradition by gifting great hair days. And my youngest is home actually this weekend. She tried to take this, and this almost did not make it to TV today. So this is the very affordable Revlon limited edition 10th anniversary one-step volumizer for the holiday season. Annika and Alexa, my daughters, already have the original one-step volumizer, so they love this. It's the iconic revolutionary one-step volumizer that has changed the game for hair tools, turning 10 years old. So it's presented in this beautiful celebratory pearlescent pink limited edition. Both my girls are going to get this year, but it continues to deliver salon-worthy blowouts, drying and styling in less than half of the time. So that's why Annika, my youngest, loves it. She goes, Mom, I can do my hair so fast, and you're going to get beautiful shine. Fan favorite, over 488,000 five-star reviews. Award-winning, head to Amazon.ca. I promise you, it will not disappoint.
Very nice. It looks like you have something there for the sports fan, too. Am I correct? Or maybe just a Barbie fan?
Oh, sports and Barbies, because, both of my girls have played sports, and it gives them confidence. And holiday's the same. It is not complete without sports in our house. So this year, Barbie and the WNBA have a great way to bring that sports tradition into your holiday gifting. So they've teamed up with an exclusive 7-piece apparel collection, now available only exclusively at Walmart. So you're going to see that bold Barbie pink, as well as the WNBA orange, and special details like the numbers 59 and 96. 59 was when Barbie was established, 96 the WNBA, but you'll see it on tees, hoodies. They've got these joggers, as well as cozy PJs. So it's a fun way to celebrate women in sports, especially our girls we're trying to get that confidence in playing. Why not wear some Barbie and WNBA gear? I love it. And again, easy to find at Walmart.
I love it too. We're seeing so much more of that representation and a way to bring it into your home. Great idea there. Sherry, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We always appreciate hearing from you.
Thanks so much, and happy holidays, everybody.
Finally, it is starting to feel like the holidays. Looking outside, it's minus 16 degrees. That wind chill, though, feeling more like minus 26. Overcast and gusty with south-southwesterly winds at 20 to 30 kilometers per hour. Pressure falling, humidity sits at 82%. Clouds are starting to break up here in southern Manitoba. They'll be a little bit more persistent in the north, a bit more stubborn. So overcast skies for you, while we here in southern Manitoba will be dealing with a mix of sun and cloud. Temperatures cooler. We will see the values heat up a little bit, but still cooler than what's typical for this time of year. Minus 11 is what we're getting. Minus 7 is more what's expected for early December. Winds will be out of the south at 20, gusting at times to 30 kilometers per hour. They'll ease a little bit overnight. Temperatures dipping down to minus 16. That wind chill will be in effect, though, making it feel more like minus 20. We do start to see the clouds roll in, and that sets the stage for a rather snowy Tuesday, excuse me, getting ahead of myself. A weak clipper pushing in from Alberta brings us snowfall, about 2 to 4 centimeters worth, with a high of minus 8 degrees. But we get that sunshine back on Wednesday. We're taking a break. More Your Morning Winnipeg ahead.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Okay, Catherine, let's wrap this up with some fun video. A recent snowfall is a welcome sight to some of Chicago Zoo's furry residents. This is Tim the brown bear. He was caught rolling around and reveling in the fresh powder. Tim was born in 2023 in Alaska and enjoys the cold conditions.
Not like me. When it's snowing, that is not how I look. I'm running inside.
Well, an Australian family is carrying on their holiday tradition. This is Europe's largest Christmas house. The over the 1.3-acre estate is lit with close to 1 million Christmas lights and has 250 inflatable figures set up. It takes 4 months to decorate and to take ornaments down again. Wow, look at that. That's stunning.
That is a commitment.
Absolutely. And anyone in a warm climate will tell you Christmas at the beach hits differently. In addition to Christmas trees at Jacksonville Beach in Florida, they also have Christmas chairs, which are decorated lifeguard chairs. Proceeds from the program benefit children in the arts.
Do they put Christmas lights on the gators? Because that's very Florida. I feel like you can get them involved.
Oh my goodness, I would love to be on a beach right now.
Me too.
That does it for us. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.